Hey everyone, welcome back to Indicted TV. I'm your host Negra. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Before we start, you already know I gotta give a shout out to my sponsors, Royalty Honey. Keep it hard, guys. Also for the best jewelry, for his glory. For the most fire is fire, Cali Plug. And for the best Chinese food, Mr. Yu's in Montclair. On today's episode, we have Pupps. Welcome to Indicted TV.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Feeling a little nervous, a little shy?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let loose, bro. Let loose. So tell me, Pupps, tell me where you're from. I don't mean the gang. I always say that, right?
Yeah.
Tell me where you grew up, your mom, dad, the inside of your house growing up.
I mean, my grandma's from South Central, and I moved to the projects probably like when I was like 1 or 2.
Okay.
And ever since then, I just grew up right there.
So you grew up with your grandma?
Yeah, I grew up with my grandma and my mom's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you the only child?
No.
Your mom has a lot of kids?
Yeah, I got like 3 brothers and like 2 sisters.
Okay. Are you the youngest, oldest?
No, I'm the middle.
You're the middle child?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm the youngest out of all the boys, though.
Okay. So you were raised with your mom and your grandma, mainly grandma at home, right? In the projects?
Yeah. Well, my grandma was like in South Central a lot. And then my mom moved to the projects. And then...
That's where you were
Yeah, then that's when
raised.
they cut ties. Not cut ties, but just, I just went back to my mom's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were with grandma. Your mom got a place in the projects.
Yeah.
Mom's got to do what mom's got to do.
Yeah.
Right? And you moved with grandma. But you're 2 years old, so do you remember? Probably not, you know?
Nah.
All you remember is being raised in the projects, and you're living your best life.
Probably like when I was like 5, 6, 7, I was like 8, I was already getting in trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, I was already running amok.
Tell me about you getting in trouble or running amok. Like, what does that even mean?
Probably just like going to school from like, so where I stayed at from the projects and to the school, just like from there to there, like I'm hitting the gang of different cuts, and I'm just like seeing a lot of like kids, homies, like older homies, and then it's just like, just throughout the days, I'll just, like kick it with the fellas, after school.
Okay.
And then, their family was already from the hood and stuff like that. So.
What about your big brothers?
Nah, I didn't.
You're the only one that's...
Yeah, I'm the only one
that's gang related.
Yep.
We should say, because that's what we're saying.
I'm the
here.
black sheep. Nah.
You're a little brown. Just You're a little brown. Okay, so tell me. So you going to school in elementary. You're like, obviously you live in the projects, so you're seeing different things that happen. When you live in projects.
I saw gang stuff in the project.
So, and your mom's always at work, most likely. So you're just there with your siblings.
Yeah, and they were always at school too. So I was mostly just like
outside playing.
After school, like boom, drop my backpack off, changing, and just with the homies all day.
Okay, playing outside.
Yeah, playing outside in the bikes, just all day, right there in the J's,
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Until it's not, right?
Until it's not.
Tell me, did you ever? Well, obviously you went to Juvenile, huh? Right? Because how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
21.
You're 21 years old, and you're on Indicted TV. At what age did you get arrested for the first time?
Like my first,
That you getting arrested for your first time?
Probably like for a G-Rider, high-speed chase.
And how old were you when that happened?
Like 13.
13.
Yeah.
And that was your first encounter with the cops?
Yeah.
Tell me about the G-Ride.
Just pretty much like, I was at home and then the homie just pulled up. And I was with my homegirl. Well, my homegirl had it the whole time,
She's down, huh?
Yeah, she's down the homegirl right there, And pretty much we're going to go to like Commerce Center, to go come up. Not even go come up, but they were going to go, And then we went. And then I was the one that drove. I didn't even know how to drive, but I was just like, I wanted to drive so bad. Like,
that was your first time driving?
Yeah, like I just wanted to get behind the wheel so bad. So the homies are like, so just, Only so I just got up, and then the homies started telling me, and the homegirls are like, go here, and I'm just like, all right, for sure.
And you thought you were all cool?
Yeah, and then I'm
driving.
Yeah, I thought I was cool with the homies. It was a fishbowl, and then
wait, what kind of car was it?
Like a Toyota, like straight G-Ride, like straight hoopty, like no tinted windows, And then we're going down Lorena, and then that's when like Crash sees us, and then they see my homegirl.
They already knew she was all bad.
What time it was, And then they see my little ass driving.
Oh, yeah. Let me get these guys.
So I just pulled over to the block, and that's the first time they got me.
So you pulled over. They didn't even, you went to the high-speed chase?
Yeah, well, probably like for like 7 minutes. I was just
That's
driving
right.
around.
Hey, when you're on the high speed chase, 7 minutes, it's a long time.
Nah, it's a little bit. I was just probably like from like the J's to like the block.
Okay.
You know, thinking I was a shit, you know, and after that, like I just pulled over.
Okay.
And then they just took
Were
me.
you nervous?
Nah, hell nah. I was just like, man.
You thought you were cool because you got pulled over.
Yeah, I thought I was with the homies. So I'm just like, man. I put over at the block, so I'm just like, the homies is right there. Like,
They were watching
know?
everything.
So I just went away for a little bit, and after that, that's when the cycle just started, just kicking in with the older homies.
Okay, so you got arrested for the first time for the G ride, and you were with your homegirl and another friend, and this is your first time going to juvenile, huh?
Yeah, first time.
Well, yeah, it's your first time. Yeah. Tell me about your feelings when you're just getting there, because obviously when you're from your area, there's a lot of gangs around there.
Yeah, I went to East Lake. It was a gang of homies. It was a gang of homies, but it was like a lot of enemies too. You know, I'm young, mind you, so it's just like it's fades going up. You know, I don't have the mentality that I had then. You know, so it's just like as soon as I walked up in there, and man, like it was cool. Like I didn't have my neighborhood or nothing on my face like that. You know, I just had it like on my chest and on my arms. You know, but
I
ran into my one of my close homies now from Tiny Boys. You know, and he was a KP at the time. That's what they call him, you know, when you're working and stuff right there. And then he hit me up, and then he had told me, and he goes like, "Hey, you got fades, you know?" He goes like, "You got so and so," and I'm just like, "All right, it's good."
Okay, so he put you on game, like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. And how was the staff with you? Because you're small. You say you were like 13.
Yeah, I was 13. It was my first time. I wasn't really like. I try to stay out the stats way, you know. Like I just be kicking in with the homies, and then my stat, like the homies already had like what staff to who not, you know.
Okay.
Like, who was the senior that day, or like, you know, like what we gonna do, and it just like, it was just cool. And then cause like right there where they had it was like they'll try to separate like us and the blacks, boom, like all like the Crips and us, like boom, they have all of us on this side, and then all of our enemies or whatever in the Bloods, boom, they have them on that side, you know.
Cause they already knew, cause you guys were
deep. Knew what time it was, you know. So, but sometimes like when we go to school or medical, you know, or we'll go outside playing kickball, you know, like we'll catch them and stuff, you know, we'll hit the field. You know, do it like that, but it was just a consistent of that, you know? Of
just fighting. Did your mom go visit you?
Yeah, every shout out to my mom. She looked out a lot.
Nice. You know? But now, like in juvenile hall, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't been in juvenile hall for many, many, many years, right? But when I was going to juvenile hall, your parents were able to bring you packs, right? Not packs, but like a brown bag with your hygiene and your stuff. How do they do it now?
Nah, nothing. Like, I mean,
are your parents able to? Are you able to get like?
Hell no, hell no. They just come. Well, now like 2020. Like the last time I was in the house was 2023 before I caught the case, and then I went to prison and stuff. But right now in the house, like, nah, just your parents just come see you and just.
So you're not able to get like no store, no nothing.
I mean, in there, you know, like if you got staff, you know, like what they give you is what they give you, you know.
Oh.
But if you got juice, like you get it. It's in the house. If you don't have juice, I don't know what you're doing in there, you know. But yeah.
So
but
you're saying you had juice?
Yeah, and the compound that's different because now like the new YA system, like they're having it there, you know. So that's when they're doing the whole like if you do good, you get points, and then
we'll get to the compound. I'm still kind of like tripping out that like because before you were able to get everything in from your parents.
No, you can't get shit.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't get nothing.
Yeah, you fools ruined that. Just kidding. But obviously that was many moons ago, you know, when I was there or whatever. So you got how much time did you do your first time? Like 30 days or something?
Nah, hell no. The judge was an asshole. That fool had me there for like 3 months.
Oh, so you did 3 months. So did you do them all on East Lake?
Yeah, I was right there. And man, back to just going back and forth. He didn't even want me to go home. He's like, I'm gonna send you to placement.
And it was your first time?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Oh, man.
But just because of the report, you know, because of crash and ganging and the whole probation, I was never on probation. So they were always trying to find something to put something on me. So I was just right there just stuck, not knowing what nothing. I had a public defender, you know, she just kept coming back to court. So I wasn't really tripping because I got it good right there. So, and then eventually that's when they're like, you know what, we're just going to send you home. So I just went home. I'm on probation. And then that's when the cycle started, you know, being on probation. You know?
Well, yeah, it's so hard to get off probation.
Yeah, that's just hard.
No, it's like the hardest thing in life. I was on probation since I was like 13 years old to 35 years old.
Damn.
It's extremely hard. Obviously, I got off once, and then like the next day, I was already back on there. Like, you get what? But it's hard. that just made me think about Young Thug. Like, how can you take 25 or whatever years on probation? Like, bro, you are gonna slip. Like,
Yeah, hey, for sure you're gonna do something dumb. You're gonna go back with the homies.
bro, like,
cool.
and okay, back to you. I just thought about Young Thug on probation. Like, I don't know why, but okay. So you got out. You did your okay. Let me ask you one more question. Those 30. What do you gotta do to get good with the staff? Like, your behavior has to be good, or like what?
Yeah, just
You know what I mean?
just don't like, how do I put it, like, just don't be a scene maker, you know? And then just like, if you're gonna be a scene maker and not fight your enemies, then not gonna, because you're just a hassle, you know? You're just a hassle. You just gotta get dealt with.
So basically, if you're cool, you don't give them any hard time. You'll get it good. Maybe they'll bring you some McDonald's.
Yeah.
Kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get one of the staff to cook you some food here and there, you know? But,
okay, some extra from their plate or not their plate, but you get what I mean.
You know, if, like when they go out to eat, you know, they ask for whoever like the KPs are that day, you know, or they bring hella hygiene. Like, I'd rather have hygiene than snacks, you know? I'll just snack up on my hygiene.
Yeah.
You know, but snacks is the mandatory too, you know? Because you're just eating the food in there, you know, you ain't getting nothing.
No, you're going to go hungry.
Yeah, so you just eating what they're giving you. And that's it, you know? So
no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, so you got out, you're on probation, and that's when everything obviously changed.
Yeah.
You didn't realize how hard probation was going to be.
No, hell no.
How long were you out after that?
Not very long. I was just probably like a couple months, probably like a month or two, and then I'll go back. I went
for
back,
violations?
Yeah, no, twice I went. One time, the second time I went back was for a blower case.
Okay.
And then the second time was just violations.
And how were you getting caught with these things?
Just being in the projects.
Like just getting pulled over, or like you didn't stash them? Like what?
Nah, just being in the projects, just with the homies, you know. Like we'll go, cause at the time, like I was staying in the J, so I just we'll get picked up by the homies, and then whenever we didn't have no stash spots, you know, I just have it on us, and then crash showers, bust a bitch, boom, we're just gonna hit a corner and just bounce out.
Okay, and then they just follow you and get you.
Tom Brady the thing, and then just.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and if they catch you, they catch you, and whoever's driving, you know, you just better.
Yeah, so I let anybody in my car. Just kidding.
Yeah, but that's where I was, or like just foot chases, you know, we'll be in the J's, like, and then crash would just pop up on us, like hit a cut.
Yeah.
And then we'll just foot chase, and then we'll just launch, you know, or then they'll get it, and then they'll be assholes, or say we'll get in a car, and then there'll be one strap, and then boom, they'll be like,
it's everybody's.
Any money more, you gonna go, like, type shit.
Hey, that was a cool little rhyme right there.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, sometimes if it's just like, if we're posted up and then they just find it, they'll just take it and then they'll just leave us. But
yeah, because it's not nobody,
But my situations, you know, I always get caught slipping dumb-handed, right? You know? Yeah. Just like if we're running, not just paying attention, you know, of my surroundings.
Mm-hmm. It happens. You're in the zone. You're having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, you're happy. You're not paying attention to what's going on, which is a good thing, but a super bad thing. Yeah. Especially when you're in the streets doing your thing. Like, bro, you always gotta be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, straight up.
So you went back. Did you ever go to camp?
No. Well, one time I went to Alpha Ball. I did a 9-month camp program right there, and then.
How was that for you?
It was cool.
Like, do you have to do the marching there too and all that stuff, or like, how does that work?
Like just certain like when you go into a dino hunt, just pretty much like your hands behind your backs, you know, shit like that. But
do you have to do like the little diamond behind your back?
Nah, not no more.
I mean, I don't know. I remember all of that. You know?
Yeah, nah. And then I got refiled probably like my 6-month mark. I got refiled. I got kicked out. The judge, they made me do my time all over again.
Oh no!
Yeah, he put me back, so I was already like at going to 7 months. I went back to juvenile hall. I had a court date, you know, to determine if I was gonna get out that day or stay longer. He was like, nah, your provenance been fucking up. Like, you're just gonna stay here.
Because you were fighting all the time.
So I stayed a month in the halls, and then I went back, and then I did 9 months. So I did probably like a year. Yeah, just for that blow.
And how did you feel every time you got released and you go back to, you know, your home?
Cool.
Like, how do you feel like is it within yourself? Like, okay, do you think you're like...
Nah, I feel like...
You get what I'm saying?
I feel like
more swag kind of vibes? Like,
yeah, I just pick up more game. Like, I just know more, you know? Like, because it's just like, I go in there with the fellas, and then it's just like, I know more, you know? Like,
did you have pen pals?
Huh? Nah, hell nah.
No, so you weren't into girls like that yet?
Nah. I was just pretty much just doing time. And then whoever I was on the phone with, you know? I'd just be on the phone with.
Okay.
Like, you know, different girls. Not even different girls, but just like, you know, just...
Yeah, I'm like, you better check yourself. First of all, you weren't around yet. You weren't around. Well, you probably were, but... I'm not going to get you in trouble. Don't worry. You're like, no, I should have came. Okay, so you get out from your camp program. Tell me the craziest thing you saw during that last year that you did, that you went to camp and they refiled. Besides fighting, huh?
Nothing.
I just mean it doesn't have to be like fighting. It doesn't have to be like stabbing. It could just be like, like staff being certain ways, or like, oh, what was the craziest thing you did? It could be like something funny, like.
I'll probably just, cause where I was at, I was with my homeboy, from my neighborhood, and his grandma would come, like, and his grandma had like a metal plate right here, So she had the thing for court, saying that she could go through the metal detectors and
dang, yeah.
So this fool, with a bolsita, with a gang of like disposables, and then.
No, grandma was down. Yeah. Hell yeah, shout out to grandma.
Shout out to grandma. So we'll be right there. That's what I was known for in camp, just for all that shit, just.
Oh, okay. So you were the plug.
Pretty much. I don't want to say the plug.
I'm just saying, that's just a figure of speech. Now you could be the plug for shoes. You could be the plug for everything. It's just a word now, Yeah. But basically, you were okay.
Yeah, it was cool. I had a lot of shit. I had a lot of love from the staff, Yeah.
Well, that's good. What was What was the coolest thing you got from the staff?
Probably like some pro clubs, some shirts. Yeah,
we don't do pro club. We're shaka. We're just kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, but I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Pro clubs, that's cool.
Shirts, cause in there, like you were wearing the uniform, the Bob Barkers, the little gray shorts, pants that they give you, and then that gray shirt, and then that sweater.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Hey, did it get cold? Were you there when it was super cold?
Nah, well, right there, cause you're in LA, so you're just inside,
Oh, okay.
Inside the halls, they don't really you go outside in the morning, and that's it.
And that's it. You go back.
You go back in for school, and then just go back.
And did you draw? What did you do to pass your time?
Draw.
Oh, so you're an artist now?
Yeah, something like that.
That's cool.
I could get off, yeah.
I'm really just, trying to.
No, yeah. I could draw for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's one thing I could do, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I used to draw when I was when I was in the county. I seen a lot of homies that really know how to draw, Cause I'm over here drawing in the house. I'm over here thinking it's cool, cause I'm over here learning from the homies,
Yeah.
From the streets and shit, just my calligraphy, just like my penmanship,
Of course.
And just sitting in that cell, just getting copies from the staff, like, hey, print me this, these high notes or this, and then just and then
so you could practice.
Yeah, but when I went to the county jail and I started seeing that artwork, I'm just like, oh, this is different from
For
pencil
sure.
to pen, from all that. So I'm just like, okay,
because in the halls you could only get pencils, huh?
Pencils, pens. Now you get all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you get markers, you get
nice.
Sharpies, color pencils, lo que sea.
Lo que sea. Fuck.
Yeah, you get school,
Okay.
School.
What about the guys? Did they ever ask you to do drawings for their girlfriends
for their
and things like that?
And shit, or write letters. And I don't like writing letters for the homies because it's well, this was gonna send it to this hyena, and then this was gonna send it to this hyena, and it's gonna be my writing, And then it's just
damn, hopefully they didn't pull it out.
Yeah,
Because might set you up for failure, fool.
Yeah.
Get you in trouble.
Yeah, but I be drawing a lot though for the homies,
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That was your pastime. You read and stuff like that as well. What about school? You did school?
School, yep. I finished high school.
Good.
Yep. I never really went I went to school in the streets, but
I was about to ask you that. What was the highest grade that you went while you were out here? And
7th.
Okay.
And then that's eighth. And after that, I got busted already. I was already going to school in the halls.
In there, yeah.
For high school. And then I graduated literally in a year.
Nice.
Literally I got busted from my high one. And then from 2019, I graduated the end of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after you got out of the camp, which was you said you did 12, how many months you said you did?
Probably a year.
A year and something? Because you got refiled, mm-hmm. right? So you got out, you're back home, you're nice and healthy, feeling yourself, all cool, right?
Yeah.
What happens?
That's probably what I'm already at the time, a lot of my a lot of youngsters from my around the area from East LA, Montebello, got put onto my neighborhood, And at the time, I was the only youngster from my neighborhood from the projects, So, I was already getting out of camp, and I was talking to my older homie Chunky, And he goes hey, there's going to be a lot of, little homies that's going to be, And I'm like, hell yeah. And that's when I got out, and I started, running into a lot of homies, And then that's when my homie Blazer, Manos, Bandit, Grande, there's a lot of homies that, that got put onto my section, rest in peace, Scrappy,
Yeah, that you guys are kind of the same age, young.
We're all the same age, the same category, and we're just running amok, just running amok, like for months straight, like just running amok every day.
Out of control.
Yeah, you know, certain homies got busted, you know, certain homies, like youngsters were fighting time, you know, and then that's when, like, probably like 2019 already was coming around, and then my homie Blazer was already busted. I was already about to get out, and then boom, I got out. We were running a whole mug. Then that's when I got picked up. Like, I got out March out of camp, and then I went back November.
Okay, so you were literally only out for a short minute of time, and you didn't go to school because you already graduated.
No, I didn't even graduate.
Oh, you graduated the next one. So did you even enroll into school?
Nah, hell no. Well, I went one time because I got out, you know.
Because you have to.
So I had to. So, at the time, I was in Gardena. There's just like, it was like not a continuation, but it was just like, I'll pull up and then I'll be there for like an hour. And then if I want to stay and do my work, I can stay and do it, and then I could just bounce out, you know? Mm-hmm. But hell no, I just go get my work and just leave, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's when COVID hit, and that's when it just...
shut down.
Everything was fucking... I didn't go. I mean, I wasn't even checking in with my PO. Like, I didn't go to court.
Hey, tell me about that. Like, did you have to check in, or like, how was that for you?
Nah, she was lovely.
Really?
I'll be in front of my pad, right? And then, like, she'll be like, hey, where you at? And I'll be like, I'm right here. Like, oh, I can get some food or something. I'm with my mom. And she'll be like, okay, like, I'm about to go outside. I'm about to be at your house in 30 minutes. I need you to be there. And I'll be like, all right, cool.
Because I wonder, did they have to work from home, or did they have to go to the office?
Nah, from home or from the office, but it would never be contact. Like, I would never go to
They just wanted to watch you.
Yeah, I would never go to the office
cool.
or nothing. Like, literally, like, she'll be in the whip inside her car, and then I'll literally be outside on the phone. And then she'll just see me, and then boom, she'll just skirt off.
Oh,
and then
damn.
That's it. And then boom, next month or next week or whenever she
was ready to go see you.
Whenever she was ready to pull up, and then, like, if I'm whatever progress I'm doing along the time, then I'll just tell her, you know. But I wasn't doing shit.
Progress, yeah, like like going to school, but you couldn't go to school.
I couldn't
because it was COVID.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was just telling her.
And you couldn't work because obviously it's COVID.
Yeah, so,
and you're a teen.
Just pretty much.
And that's cool.
Yeah, so.
I mean, it's cool for the people that are on probation and things like that. You know, like it's not cool, guys. I gotta make sure I always say that, because I always get people are always like, this is what you want to show the young people. But first of all, like, if you're 15 and younger, you shouldn't even be watching Indicted TV. It's some grown folk shit. But there is a lot of kids that do watch.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want them to think it's okay. Like, it's really not. Who wants to be in and out for the rest of their lives, right?
Yeah, Joe is not it. Straight up is not it.
Okay, so what happens? Like, you got arrested the last time. Mm-hmm. What did you get arrested for?
Well, all right, so in November I got busted for high speed chase and a strap, right? But I was already on the run prior for murder, you know, like in October, you know. So that was you know, and then I was already on the run for that. But instead of, like, you know, laying low, going away, I'm gonna be in my hood.
So the cops already knew.
Yeah, there was already.
Okay, and how did that happen for you to know? Like, they went to your house?
Nah, cause so pretty much, like, on Halloween, you know, like, the whole incident played out, and I was with my homegirl and shit. Everybody split ways and shit, and then a couple of days later, my homegirl got busted. You know, the one that was that was her car. You know, but she was just like the passenger and shit, and she got busted, and then her baby daddy reached out. You know, like, hey, you know, like, she got busted with the wool. You know, so I'm just like, all right, firme. So I already had knew, because Crash was already like. On shit, you know, like, on the homies, you know, jamming the homies up, you know, like, they're already hot in the hood. So I'm like, okay. And just, like, not like all the shootouts that were happening in the hood, all the tagging, and it's just like, they already knew what time it was, you know.
Course.
Like, oh, we know who dropped who, and then they're going by that, you know. So
especially because it's COVID, everything's kind of more quiet.
Yeah, so
everybody's at home, nobody's, you know, like,
yeah.
except the running wild kids, as we like to call them. Well, at least me, running wild.
The troublemakers, you know. But yeah, and then it just
that's gangbanging fools, you know? This is what it is.
After hours, after dark, you know? And even then, yeah, but, so that, all that had happened, and then, so then I'm staying low, right? And then I take off for some time, for like a couple weeks, come back.
Where'd you go?
Like, Santa Clarita. Hey.
Everybody, it's so funny because...
Hey, shout out to the homegirl Rugged. She let me stay at her pad, you know?
Yeah.
I was right there at her pad and shit, and then fucking, that shit was far as and I'm just
it's really not far, though.
Yeah, I just felt like, because I was driving, you know, because my tia dropped me off, you know, so I'm just like, you know, and then my Theo case too, so as we're driving, I'm just like, bro, where the f*** are we going? I'm like, cool, and then it's out the way, but then I was like, I'm getting there, I'm just like, I'm just there, you know, kicking. I don't have nothing. You know, I'm just waiting for my stuff to get dropped off. I'm just like, probably like my 4th, 5th day, I can't even do it. And mine just my hunger, like I'm not even like on that, you know. I'm just kicking it and then like, you know, introduce like meeting her homies and shit. And all her rival like her rival enemies, they were this, you know. So they as soon as they come inside the house, they're like, what is this for, you know?
Oh dang!
You know, so then that's when she was like, oh nah, you know, it's the homie for VNE and shit. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then ever since then, like, boom, we just locked it in. You know, they were cool and shit. They knew I was right there, you know. And then the worst part about it, like one day, right, they did a probation search or a parole search, you know, in the morning. I'm over here thinking they finna hit. It's in the morning, it's probably like 5, 6, and I'm just like, they're finna, like, you know, I see the cameras because she has cameras, you know, and I forgot she was on parole, you know.
Oh,
so
no.
Like, you know, I was like, oh, yeah, they finna come serve me. So I just come, I'm looking, I'm like, I'm not even knowing where the at. I hit my team up, I'm like, where you at? She's in Whittier, like at work. I'm
Far.
Like, far. So I'm just like, man, like, you know, it is what it is. They, you know, they got me, you know, if they came this far to come this way, like all the way to Santa Clarita, I'm like, yeah, for sure. But not, hell no, they came. They just had her come out, and then they're like, hey, you know, like, they're like, hey, my cousins and everybody's inside the house. And then before they came out, I went to her mom's bedroom, boom, put my thing away, and then boom, we all came out, and then they ran my name, but I gave them my brother's name at the time.
Okay.
So at the time, I gave my brother's name, and then they were cool. They're like, oh, you're on probation, parole? And I'm like, hell nah. And they're like, all right, cool. And then they're like, they searched the pad probably like for like an hour or two, you know, and then boom, they swept. They that shit up. They didn't find nothing on the hood, so they just came because she was already beyond some bullshit.
Yeah.
So as soon as that, I'm like, I gotta go. So I left, right?
You're like, why did you take me to this house?
Yeah, straight up. I'm like, man,
where
why
this
even-
girl's
I
on
was
parole?
yeah,
Like, bro, are you kidding me?
Straight up, like I'm over here like getting put in predicaments. I'm like, you know what, cool. So
He's
like,
all pissed
Yeah,
that
so
they
I'm
put you in
hot.
predicament.
Yeah,
like,
so-
oh, it's, you know, like.
yeah, so I'm hot. So then whatever.
That's
so
hilarious.
So then I leave, and then after that I take off, and then I'm thugging it every day in the hood, right, with the homies and shit, and then with my homegirls and shit, you know, because they're going from momos to momos and shit. They're already doing their thing, you know. So we'll be in the hood all day, and then boom, we'll take off like two.
So you have a lot of little homegirls.
Yeah, nah, older homegirls. You know,
Okay,
some
okay.
older homegirls. You know, like there's a lot of youngsters from like little homegirls from my hood, like, but I don't like hang around with them or nothing. You know, like sometimes I'll be with my older homegirls and shit.
Okay.
But we'll hit them up, you know. And at the time I hit her up, so we'll be going out there like 2 or 3 in the morning and shit, and then go. So we were going back and forth and shit. I went to Long Beach, right, to go drop off or pick up something from the homie, you know. And then the homie's like, hey, we're gonna go back. You first wanna go kick it with some hyenas? Like, let's go. So then I'm like, my homie Manos, you know, he has a G-Ride, so I was kicking it with him like days prior to that, you know. So I've been thugging it with that fool, cause that fool's on. They're looking for him too, cause
Okay.
you know,
Because you
he's
guys
my
were together.
co-defendant. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
co-defendant right there.
Okay.
So then, as I'm coming back, right, I get a phone call, right, from the bus shop on Rickett and Whittier, and then they're like, hey, you want a bong, you know, pull up, you know, for the raffle. So I'm over here like, what the fuck? Like, why is the bus shop calling me, you know? But I forgot did put my number, so I go get a bong, and I go get an 8th, right, that I win. They try to take a picture of me, and I'm like, nah. They ended up taking the picture of me. They put it on the thing.
Oh, no.
And then so I'm like, all right. So then the homies are like, hey, change of plans. Like, hey, I gotta go. So I'm like, drop me off in the J's. So then I'm just like, so as we're going to the J's, I'm hitting up the homie Manos, you know, because he was with his little hyena and shit. And I'm like, hey, come to the J's, like, hurry up, because I gotta go to Bell Gardens to go sell something, you know, to go sell one of my thing. And then he was like, all right, we pull up, gang of homies in the hood, and then boom, we're planning on kicking it because we were supposed to check a homie, you know. And then I'm like, nah, you fools do it, like, I gotta go. So then boom, I smoked a blunt with the homie, and I took off in the G-Ride fast, you know, like on something like
Super fast?
yeah, like super fast, fast as you know. And then so we left, we hop on the 5, and I'm with the homie and shit. And then we get off right there in Florence, right there by the bicycle casino. And then as we're driving, literally I'm at the light, right? I got off on the wrong next shit. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just like, I'm done. I don't have no phone. My phone's dead. I just know where to pull up to the spot and just hop on, you know?
Yeah.
And then as I'm at the light, right? Because there's a gas station right there. And I see something behind me, and I'm like, why this fool didn't pull up like right next to me, you know?
Oh, no.
So then as I look, and then the homie's like, hey, there's a hood out. And I'm just like, for sure,
That's
they're
it.
running the plate. So I bust a right, and then they follow me, and then I go inside the gas station. When I go inside the gas station, mind you, I got all these straps inside the car. I'm just
Oh,
like, man, you know?
no.
And I'm just like, I'm already on the run. And sheriffs, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, they own shit. It's 2 of them. I'm like, yeah, we're done. I'm like, yeah, I'm over here, like I'm thinking, I'm gonna go away for a minute, you know? So I'm like, these fools, like, I got enough things to get away, you know? So I'm like, nah, the homie was like, nah, don't be on
Like,
that
chill.
fool, man. Like, just skirt off, nigga. That
Yeah,
yeah,
like-
just skirt off. So that's, you know, I'm like, okay, so I boom, I hop back on the 710. We skirted off. It was only one hood, all right? Boom, as we're about to hop on the 5, right? From the 710 to the 5, you know, straight up, it's that. You gotta go all the way to the left lane. You gotta slow down, because that shit narrow as fuck, you know? Boom, they're on that intersection, about to come on, right? From that, The whole shit's filled up with hood. I was like, the whole shit, like, I'm like, fuck, I'm smashing, I'm hitting
Oh,
it. I was like,
no.
no, we're trying to just dump shot the window. Boom, we go, and then I go on the 5, right? And I'm about to get off on Grande Vista. I think it's Grande Vista right there by White Fields, by Garcia Park. Boom, I get off, and instead of going right towards the block, towards Beswick, I make a left. Boom, I go to to their hood and shit. And I go to their streets, I go, and then as I'm going, I lose them. Boom, I lose them straight up. I'm on Grande. Oh, I'm on 8th going up. Boom, but I go in there and then I lost them. Straight up, I lost them, And then the homies like keep going, and then I go on the Olympic. My dumbass is like gonna keep driving. Like I'm gonna go on the Olympic and just go back on the freeway, nigga, and just go back to where we needed to go. And that fool's like, nah.
So you survived it?
Nah, hell nah. That fool's like, nah. That fool's like, fool. He's like, just stop the car. Fool, we're on the Olympic by the J's, Boom, we're right there. And I feel like, just stop the car. So instead of just stopping the car in the middle of the car and running inside the J's, I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna go inside the Tiny's and I'm gonna park, Because this is the Tiny's where we call it. So I make a left. I'm on the Olympic of Lorena, and then there's a right there.
Oh, no.
There's a good fool flashes, and then my dumbass just, with the window down, hitting it. And then Mano,
Thinking you're cool.
Yeah, the homie Mano's right there, He's a fat boy, I was right there, and then the dumbass car I put into the parking lot, boy, the chopper's already on me. That shit did not want to stop. The fucking stupid ass car. This fool already hopped off. Mind you, I'm faster than the homie, And that fool's already gone. So, boy, I was
you thought you were faster than the
homie. So, boy, I hopped off. As I hop off.
That's what Manos, you get faster than them.
Yeah. So I hop off, right? Because every time I get on foot chasers with this fool, we get away, Like, boom, we do it. So I'm like, I got the bird on me, like, in the J's. I know how to get this fool off of me, I'm just going to go to the A Street side, Because they got more trees. So as I'm running, boom. The chopper, that fool's not getting away from me, That fool's on me.
Yeah.
So I just ran into a pad, her name was Anna. She stayed right there, like, in the courts, And I just ran up in there. While as I'm going to the back, I told Ashley, her daughter, I'm like, hey, open up the back door. She hopped so fast as shout out, She did that. She hopped up fast, opens the back door. As I'm going, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go in there because they're already on my bumper. So I'm like, fuck that, I'm getting tired. So I turn around, boom, I juke them because it's the clothes hangers, So I go into that shit and I go inside the house and I lock it, boom. I try to go out to the front, boom, they go out to the, and then they had the shotties and I'm like, fuck, so I close the door. Mind you, the fangs in there. And I'm just like, fuck, for sure. Sheriffs are gonna overdo it, try to hit me with all type of charges. So I'm like, in there, I call my thing, I'm like, hey, pick me up fast, like, hurry up, And then she was like, fuck, so she's driving, like, fast as fuck. I had my homeboy go on the Olympic, let off some shots to see if they could go over there.
They didn't. They knew.
Unit,
they know the vibes.
Yeah, They just sent another unit, and I'm just like, damn, like, I don't even know what to do, Like, I got a burner on me. I'm just like, I'm done, I'm just like, I'm looking outside. I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm talking to my homeboy Sharky because he's outside. I'm on FaceTime with him. He was like, fool, he's like, just give up, fool.
Just come out.
Yeah, just come out, fool. So I'm just like, so, I just waited for a bit, and then Crash pulled up, and then that's when they were talking about knocking on the door. I told him, do what you do. It's not my door, Straight up. So I right there leaving because it's the stairs, and then it's the door right there. So I'm leaning at the stairs. I'm just like, on the phone. I'm like, and then the family just sitting down, just like,
just watching
the dad,
you.
Yeah, the dad,
I was like,
the brothers.
Yeah,
the dad's talking shit, like, to Spanish, to the brothers and shit, because I know all the brothers, and, so they're not really tripping. They're like, hey, just chill out, cool, And I'm like, don't trip, like, I'm about to bounce up out of here real quick, and then, fuck no. Crashes are like, hey, let him out, fool. If not, it's gonna go all bad for you. So I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's like the family.
So then, boom. So then they opened up the door, and then they opened up the door. I'm like, get the fuck out. So they got out, and then I come out, right? And then
you were the last one to come out.
Yeah, the last one, and then boom, they got me out. And then,
you came out with your hands up?
Nah, hell nah. Make them fools come and get me food straight up. I was inside. Yeah, I'm already from the go. So I was already being the asshole to them. They kind of gave me, and then boom, they flipped me. Boom, they had me going out outside.
Like they carried you?
Yeah, like the whole way of SWAT, because they had me going out and shit. And then, boom, I go inside the car, and then Crash, LAPD, they wanted to get me. They wanted to book me already. They're like, nah, he's coming with us. But Sheriff's like, nah, fuck that. This is our case.
We've been following
that chase,
him.
He's already going in for a high-speed chase and a gun, and this shit. So then, boom, they took me. They're like, if you fools want to book him, you fools could book him on a later time.
Yeah.
Crash, as I'm pulling out, Crash is like, hey, we finna come back for you. So I'm just like, I already knew what time it was, So I was like, go, whatever. They booked me for the invading police, for driving
running,
out, like, all that shit.
All crazy.
The gun, I'm in the halls. It's already like November 15. On November 30, I remember this date, right? So I have I get granted for house arrest, My tia Nia's about to come get me straight up. She's about to come get me. She goes, like, gay pa, like, I already talked to your PO. He's gonna let you come with me, Don't trip, you're good. So I'm like, fuck yeah, Oh, the next day they came. I'm at school, and then they're like, hey, you gotta go to Borzar, to the front. So I go to the front. They're like, hey, change out. I'm like, what you mean change out? Go to my oranges transportation, And I'm like, where the fuck am I going? Like, I don't got no core or nothing. They're like, nah, somebody's here to talk to you. And I'm like, the cops. And then I told the staff, I'm like, hey, what is it, sheriff's or LAPD? Because if it's sheriff's, they're just going to get me for another case, you know? If it's LAPD, them niggas is here. And they're like, oh, nah, LAPD. So I'm just like, fuck.
Oh, no.
So as I'm walking through, I change out and I'm walking. There's 4 of them. And I'm just like, damn. They're like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, you know.
Like, what do you mean, what's my name? You should know my name.
Yeah, you know, and I told them my birthday and shit. And then they're like, oh, yeah. They're like, put your hands behind your back. They're like, you're in the arrest for 2 murders, you know. And then, so they cuffed me. Ms. Vasquez, she's a supervisor working in the front, you know. And she's been on me for the longest, you know. And then she's just crying. She's like, fuck, like, fucking Josecito, like, you're going to be gone. Like, you're going to go to the compound. You don't even know what you got coming, you know? Like, and I'm not even knowing shit, you feel me? So
you don't even know what you got coming.
I don't know, you know? So I'm just like, man. So I go to Hollenbeck. And then they're just talking to me about all this shit that I did since I've been getting out, you know? I'm just like, and that's when he's like, look, that's when we're not here. We're here for this hot one and for this one. And that's when they showed me the footage, and then they showed me what my homegirl said. And they're trying to like tell me like, oh, this person said this one.
What they normally do.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, whatever. So then after that, I saw the footage. I'm just like, damn. And I'm like, well, do what you gotta do, you know. And then they're like, you gotta say nothing. I'm like, nah. So then I'm like, I gotta talk to my attorney. And then boom, they took me back. They charged me. And then I went back, right? And they didn't even let me go back to my unit or nothing. They kept me in the front. They took me to the Hope Center, like to the little shit, to the cell. And then I was right there to the next right to the compound. From there, boom, went straight to the compound.
Sylmar.
Yeah, went all the way to Sylmar. I'm like, I never been to Sylmar. I'm just like, oh, I've been to Sylmar one time to go to camp because you got to go there to go to camp.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even like, you know, it was for a few days and I just took off and I was just like, as far as my mom's not going to be able to come see me.
It's not even that far.
Like, my mom's not going to be able to come. Like, man, like, you know, I'm not finna get nothing, no pack, nothing. I'm just like, man, the staff, like, I just got to, you know, I'm like, fuck, you know, like, because, so I go over there. And I go to the compound, and I'm in the front, boom, you know, and then boom, they did.
That's just what it's called, right?
The compound, yeah.
Like, that's what it's called. Yeah. And it's in Sylmar, it's just like in a different area.
Nah, it's like, all right, so this is like, it's somewhere, and then it's this shit, it's in the middle. It's like a fucking gate. It's like literally a jail, like, and then there's 2 buildings, boom, and then there's a gate around it. And then if you're in there, if you walk out that gate, say you got to go to medical or whatever, well, I don't know now how they do it, but they used to shackle you, and then they'll shackle you, like, you know, they'll put your hands behind your back and shit.
Okay.
And then food started being behind us, and then started complaining about the shackles, so they changed it to, like, the little, like, plastic ones. So that's what they started doing and shit. But that's every time you leave the compound, you know, if you're going to go to transportation or whatever, or if you're going to go to, like, the visiting room to go see your attorney, or to go to medical, you know. And they have school in there, they have the basketball courts in there, like... So
damn, it's big.
So it's just you come out. So say like there's X and W, and then there's Y and Z, and then there's two units. You know, X1, X2, Z1, Z2. You know, and I was in W. I was in W2. I was on this side. You know, and that shit was cool. You know, that shit was cool. When I landed, everybody's like 15, 16, 17. All if you look at the roster, like at the chart, the charges, everybody 187. Nobody's fighting no attempted murders, no like little shit, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's all fighting time, and they're all getting banged out. So like
all the kids.
Yeah, all the kids. So it's like they're not. They're
and
like,
the ages.
Program,
so it does. Are they like if there's just say you're a 13-year-old and are you able to be there?
Yeah, but you'll just be like in a different unit.
And so they have like the smaller.
Yeah, like the age.
Okay, like, yeah. They have them their age ranges. Yeah, okay, well that's good. Yeah. At least that's a good thing that they don't put a 13-year-olds with a 16 like they used to do in like YA at a certain
but
time.
But you got like sometimes too, there be big ass 14-year-olds and like
no seriously,
big ass black kids, you know, like and then you know just you know like they're like number 2. It's not like if it was a youngster, you know, like that, you know, like okay, you know, keep them separate, put them in this side, with these foods or whatever, you know, but. That shit was cool. I was right there. I was finding my time. That's when so I landed.
Yes.
It was different. It was different from you know, from
what you're used to.
A different setup, you know. So I'm just like, okay. And then I seen one homie right there, you know, from my homie from BAY, you know. And, I seen him and shit, and then he was like, oh, what's up? I seen him from the halls. I'm like, what you doing right here? And then I see my homie Goon, you know. And then he was on the other side, you know. He goes like, what? He see me, and I was already tatted up. And then Goon was already like, he was young, but he was already yatted, you feel me? So like everybody's like, damn, you know. So when I came back, he's like, damn, you finally got on my level, huh?
Oh God.
You know. So I was like, yeah. So boom, we go and shit, and he's just telling me, you know, about the whole get down, you know, right there and shit. And it was cool, you know, the staff, cause like it just.
How's the staff there?
Like they treat us like family, you know. Like that's the shift, you know. Like there's 2 shifts, you know. There's like you know Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then there's or Sunday, and then Sunday, and then there's the next shift, you know. But then but that shit was cool though, like. Every Thursday, every like from the end of like each shift, like they'll bring us snacks. Like when we're about to shut it down already, like when they're ready from the leave, when we're not finna see them, for having a good week, they'll be like, huh. and then they'll have like fire sticks for us sometimes, you know. But now they're not shit for it. Fucked it all up because you know, like
You guys are
yeah,
not
you know? Yeah, but they took
behaving.
all that shit. Yeah, so but you know they'll give.
How long did you fight your case for?
I fought it for like 19 months.
Tell me about your case. Like, tell me about your experience. Like, while you're going to court, you know, all of that.
Man,
Because obviously,
so
it went well
look,
for you.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
Like extremely well for
Yeah,
you. Like
yeah.
super grateful. You should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you are
Yeah,
super
hell
grateful.
yeah.
You know.
Most definitely. So pretty much, right? Like my first time going to court. So I landed there, right? I landed there like on a Monday, and then I had court Wednesday. So I'm just like, all right, I'm not fighting no more like little shit. You know, straight up, we're gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna go to juvenile court, and I'm already 17, mind you. I'm 17 already. I'm like 4 months away from turning 18. So I'm already like, when I got hit for murder, like.
2.
Yeah, 2. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm finna go away, you know? Like, they're gonna use my age as an excuse to push me to the county to adult court, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm just like, so then as I go, I'm finding my case with a public defender, you know? Jacqueline, you know? Shout out to her, you know? She's the one that really, like, been backwards for me, like, got you, you know? Like,
She was good.
Like, her from the other public defenders, like, those fools wouldn't even call the, you know, the homies, you know, or check up on them, you know, it'd be like every month or 2 months, you know, about the case, or
She was on it.
you know, like boom, she'll come every weekend, you know, like like we'll go over my case, you know, for a couple hours, you know, Friday, Saturday, she'll book up, you know, if not, she can't come in person, we'll be on Zoom, you know, and I'll be looking at that shit, you know, like she was on it, you know, she was making sure that I'll get a court on time, you know, like my court days, instead of pushing them back, like, we're gonna come back 2 months from now. She'll be like, let's come back in like 2 weeks, you know, like
Okay.
So she be on it, you know, she was on it and shit like that. And then she seen where I was going in life, you know, like she seen that I really like I gave up already. I'm like, this shit, like my homie just already took like 17 years, you know, like, and he's 16, you know, like, and he already got transferred to the county jail, like, bro, like this shit ain't nothing, you know. And at the time, all these programs would come, you know, like ARC, you know, all these, like, people would pull up. But me, I didn't even want that help because it's like, bro, how are you going to benefit me in court, bro? In superior court, fool? How are you, like, you know? So I'm just like, I wasn't even.
You knew you didn't care to know or anything.
Yeah, I already knew. Like, I already knew where I was going, you know, I already knew the time, you know. I'm like, I just got to, like, grow up already, you know, like, I already got hit with some shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, ain't no backing out of this shit no more, like, you know? And then, so just going to court, or like even before going to court, just talking to your attorney and just hearing your charges. And I'm just telling her like, hey, can you add up the time? Because I was already getting hit with gang enhancements, the gun enhancements. Okay, they're already like for like the 25 and then like all the extra shit, you know? So all that shit was adding up and I'm just like, damn, like, okay, you know? And then going in court and then just like having my previous judge like, damn, like, okay, we're going to dismiss your last case. We're going to dismiss the gun case and we're going to dismiss whatever you got going on. And we're going to worry about for the murders. Let's set a court date in like 5 months. And that's why I'm just like, 5 months? Well, I remember going to court, like, you know, like coming back, you know, for some notion and going to camp and then getting released. Now I'm just like, damn, if I'm going to court in 5 months, 6 months, you know, like I got to sit down and, you know, like
analyze what's really.
And then that's when I really started taking school serious. I started like not be careful on who I was hanging around with, but it was just like I had my squad and it was just
you got to
like,
move right. It doesn't matter.
You know? And I would just like, I wanted to like know, like what they were getting. Because I was like, they were trying to hit me with double jeopardy. Like, I didn't know about none of that shit. They were trying to hit me with like, you know, sneaky
all
shit.
All kinds of things, yeah.
Like, you know, they're trying to hit me with like charges that happened that same day, but like multiple charges, you know. So just like, you know, she caught all that. And then,
oh, that's good.
You know, and then like January, I think like, so Scott, I didn't know him at the time, you know. I didn't even know this fool. He would pull up every Saturday because that's when ARC would come, you know? And we'll be in the back tables and shit. And then I was already going to court and I already lost my motion. I lost my fitness. That's what it's called. I lost my fitness. I'm already done for it. I'm just like, man, shit, you know?
I'm just like ruined. Yeah, like I'm just like whatever.
Yeah, so
I'm just like, gonna live this life and I'm gonna accept it and I'm gonna run this. This is gonna be my life.
So
this is my career.
I'm just gonna go to the county and I'm just gonna, you know, learn from like, you know, like just get sold up from there, you know? So then boom, like all the homies are going to these classes, you know, like what's in the day room and shit. And then they're going to these classes and then I'm not like, I'm just kicking back playing cards with the homies or, you know, hitting
just
the
not caring.
You know, just, you know, like not even turning in my work or nothing, you know? And then he knew a lot of like my older homies that was in prison, you know? And then he knew a lot of like the homies that I knew and stuff like that. And then he knew one of my older homies from my neighborhood, you know, that he helped out a lot. And my older homie told him, like, I guess when he went, he goes like, oh yeah, he goes like, like there's some fool, you know, like named Pupps, you know, for Vini. He's right there, you know. I was like, what? Like, tell him, you know. He's like, you know, he goes like, talk some sense to him, you know, like introduce yourself, tell him that I sent you. So then Scott comes and then I goes like, hey, like your homeboy said, like, what's up? And I'm just like, for my homeboy's been slammed down, you know, like ain't nobody has talked to this fool for a minute, so just like, you know, and it's coming from him, so I'm just like, damn, you know. And
It
then
made you want to communicate.
Yeah, so then I started talking to Scott and I'm like, hey, Scott, look, like I'm already, you know, and that fool goes like, get my number down. And I'm just like, all right, I was like, hold on. And I was like, nah, like remember this shit down. So like remember it, you know, like so like, he gave it to me, you know, like it's easy as fuck, it's, you know.
Yeah.
And then
don't say.
so then after that, I just like he goes like, don't trip. I'm gonna be there every second of the way for you. Like I'm gonna help you out, you know. And he has, bro. Like
that's cool.
He went to my court day, right? Boom. I was like, hey, I gotta go to the court, you know. So then he pulled up.
So you accepted the help?
Yeah, I said this. You know, let's see. He goes like, yeah, we're working on these laws, you know, like Prop 57, and that's the main one that you're gonna qualify, you know.
And what is that? What is that?
Prop 57?
Mm-hmm. What is
like,
that?
All right, so if you're like under 17, if you're a juvenile and you get hit for like for a serious charge, like for a hot one, you get tried as a juvenile. You know, you don't get hit as an adult no more.
Got it.
They can't press that issue, you know. Like, but now since I heard Gascon's not even in office, and so I heard she's gonna go all bad now, you know.
Yeah.
He's the one that
pushed it.
Yeah, he's the one that brought that motion back, you know, because like the DA that was on my case. She said, yeah, right, but it's not her decision of sending me back to juvenile court. It's the higher ups, you know? So when she has sent it up, it's a couple more in command or some shit. They say no, but every time one says no, it goes up higher. And every time one says no, it goes up higher. So it went all the way to Gascon, and Gascon saw it. He was like, what? He already knew Scott Bunnick, so he knew all these people, you know? He knew the ARC organization. Like, well, let's just send him back to juvenile court. So he signed me off, you know? And I'm just like, damn.
So it worked for you. It worked in your favor.
Yeah, you know? He goes like, he signed it off, and then boom. I stopped going to Superior Court, and I started going back to, I was going to East LA Court. Yeah, for the juvenile.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening?
All that so my life sentences, you know, from like all them years, like I was getting pregnant for like 90 years, you know? But like all that shit, like to juvenile life, 7 years.
Oh, wow. So to like basically juvenile life is like 25. I don't know if it's changed now, but before.
Yeah, it all depends. So say like if they hit me where like all right, so for the murder case, right? The first one, they gave me the 7 years, and then the second one they reduced it to manslaughter. Manslaughter, I think it's like 4, 6, 11 or some shit like that. They hit me with 6, but I ended up doing like fucking 3 from like 2019 to 2023.
Okay, and they put them like together or whatever.
So they put all that. They ran all that time concurrent, but when I went to YA, YA was already gonna get shut down. So I was just pretty much gonna do as much time as I'm not gonna do up there, and then as soon as it shuts down, they're gonna like, fuck, you're gonna go, or like you're gonna come back down to the halls, and then the halls didn't want me because we were like, fool, you just came from YA, like. So
where do they send all the kids?
That were coming back down from YA? Like some were like, if you didn't go home from YA, you're going back to the halls and you were just staying there. Or if now you're going to a program like, you know, like to these little halfway houses and shit that Scott was hooking up for us and shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was cool, you know.
Okay, so what did you get sentenced to total?
Total, just juvenile life.
Juvenile life.
Yeah.
And after you got sentenced, how long after did you go to YA? And which one did you go?
Fast. I went, all right, so I got sentenced September and then I went December because you got to get cleared. You got to get accepted first to go, you know. To
okay.
go there. So then I was waiting and shit. And then as soon as you get accepted, your time starts for that sentence, you know. So boom, I got accepted in September, and then December 2nd, I took off. Yep, I went all the way to Stockton.
Okay.
Yeah, from somewhere all the way to Stockton. I'm already thinking somewhere to LA as far as that little juvenile hall. But they stopped. They went from here. They went from somewhere to Ventura. That's Ventura, the Ventura Youth Correctional Facility. That's the first one that they have. And then, because they only had 2 open, was that one, because they had the females right there, and then they had the males. Well, that's co-ed Ventura, and then they had the one in Stockton.
Okay. Which
is Chad. It was 2 facilities. It was OH and then Chad. But OH closed, and then they sent everybody to Chad. And then Chad ended up closing down. Well,
And how long were you up there for?
Like for 2 years.
Oh, that's pretty a long time. Yeah, tell me how it was for you when you first got there.
That shit was cool.
Like obviously, it's like, does it look like a real prison?
Yeah, hell yeah.
So how did you feel going there? Because obviously you were in Seymour at the what's it called, the compound, and it's obviously not the same.
Nah, it's just like, cause you're just like, you're gonna go somewhere where you're like, you know, like, all right, like it's gonna be phased, for you know, like you about to like bump heads, or you know, like it's a whole nother ballgame. So the whole time we're going out there, right? Like, I'm over here thinking, like, where am I going to be? Am I going to be in Ventura or am I going to be in Chad, you know? Because if I'm in Chad, I got to go at it with the Nortes. And if I'm in Ventura, I got to go at it with the Negros, you know? So I'm just like, either or. So
well, yeah.
Yeah, so then as I go, when I'm in Chad, you got to do this intake, you know? Like, or like the whole...
What does the intake consist of?
32 days, you got to be right there. And then you got to pass, like, the whole COVID shit first, you know? Because it was the COVID, so you got to pass that.
Oh, so you got to do, like, the days of 2 weeks of quarantine or whatever.
And all that shit, and then you gotta do your little fucking orientation, and then after that, boom, that's when they'll be like, all right, you go to your little like hearing, and then that's when you're gonna be like, are you gonna be in this dorm? You're gonna be high core, moderate, or medium, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. What were you?
And then I was high because of my murder case. I was category 1, you know.
Okay.
So they were like, and then to go to board it's like 4 years, and then if you're like category 2, like it's just like you could go to board with like 2 months. I mean, like 6 months. 6 months to a year, fast, you know. So I was just stuck up there. I was just, you gotta fight, getting off the bus. Like, so I was already like, you know. And then in intake, they did groups. So it was like A group, B group, and C group. And then they'll divide the hours throughout the day. And they'll be like, all right, A group is gonna come on for like 2 hours, and then B group. And then it'll be like, right, it'll be like me, and it'll be like 4 homies, and then it'll be like them, and then it'll be like 5 Nortes, and then it'll be like 4 blacks. So just like, we're just on our toes at all times, you know? And we're using the phones, we're doing our thing and shit. And at the time, it was up with them, so it was just like, we'll always be getting down with those fools, you know?
As soon as you got there.
Yeah, as soon as, you know, like, because, like, and then they'll be, like, in certain dorms where, like, they'll, like, the Nortes will put us on site, or we'll put those fools on site. So, like, anybody we see, but we just get up on them fools, you know? And then when we were right there, the first time it popped off was over some bullshit. It was, like, some food, like, some little food, right? Where, like, he kept whacking out his S's, you know, and his 3s and shit like that, you know? He was, like...
yeah, like, while he's right.
Yeah, you know, so he was doing that shit, and then, it was probably, like, 4 of them. And it was probably, like 6 of us, you know, at the time. And then, we had just talked to them, right? Because my homie had, like, flipped the end, you know? And fucking, they tried to make a scene. We're like, bro, you want to talk about tagging, bro? Like, look at all this shit, fool. Like, we don't care about that shit, bro. Like... till y'all start speaking, like, when that shit comes out your mouth, then, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's up, like, y'all know what time it is every time we come out, and before we go in, like, we always give you fools fades, you know? So, fucking, so, right, so, boom, they lock us down, right? We just had the conversation about the tagging. We're like, fuck it, no, none of the homies is gonna write no more, you know? Nobody's gonna write no more. And then we go shower, right? I go shower, right, with the homie Chino and shit. Boom, because we go shower, and then as I'm getting out the shower, I see a hit up, right?
And this is you first getting there.
Yeah, like, you know, I go inside the shower and shit, boom, and then boom, I see a hit up, and then I go like this, and I see a smear, you know, that's a brand new hit up. I'm like, oh, because of the steam, it took it off, so I go like this, and I was like, oh, this fool had just hit up the Norte, you know, and he had just whacked out the S and the 3, you know, like chunky, you know, just like, ooh, okay. So I'm just like, man, so I go back, right, and then I go back to the room and shit, and then I told the homie from Ballista, you know, from Puente, and then he was like, I'm like, hey, what's up, you know? He's like, these fools when we come out next program, like for 8 o'clock to 9, we're gonna like
take off on these fools.
Yeah, he was like, but instead of popping that out on this niggas, we're gonna wait till this nigga comes out, you know, because he's in B group. I was in A, like I was in a different group, you know. So like, I gotta wait for this fool to comes out of pill call. So they're gonna pop his door and he's gonna come out and we're gonna rush this fool. That's what we did. Like, you know, we were just right there at the laundries, and then there was the stairs, and then boom, pill call. 8:30 came. They popped his door. Boom. The staff usually put all of us inside the dining hall to let that nigga go through. But that fool, the hood, I was like, that fool already knew what time it was because he didn't like that fool neither.
Oh, so he let him.
Yeah, so that fool just let him come on. He comes on this side, and that fool, the Pac-Man, that fool just looking. That fool has the SF right here. He knows, but he's walking, and then boom, he's going down the stairs, and then boom, just me and the homie, and we just crack it off, and that fool, he just looks at us, and he's thinking he's just gonna walk past us and just pass by, you know? He's thinking like, oh, he's passing by the hood, you know, like, because it's territories, you know, like, and he could pass through because it's just by the door, you know, to exit. So he has to get through, you know? And he's looking at us, he's thinking shit is groovy, so boom, he's just passing by, we just take off on the thunder and shit. And that's when the staff get involved. And then his homies not even know what the is going on. They think we're beating one of our homies' asses. And that's when they seen that, they're like, oh, his homies getting packed out, so that's when they all ran.
Ah. And did you guys get maced and all of that stuff as well?
That's when I was first in the first block.
Did you ever get hit by one?
Nah, I never got hit.
Well, that's good.
Hell nah, I was the homies, like, they would always get hit. Like, one of my homies, like, that fool got hit that day because that fool was in
cooperating.
That fool just kept running his mouth, and I'm just like, bro, everybody's in cuffs, nigga. You know,
yeah,
that was the only one refusing not to get in cuffs, bro. Like, there's fucking like 17 who.
And you haven't even made it to your place yet,
bro. Like, you know, and it's just like, but that was the first time that shit had popped up right there with those little fools. You know, that shit was cool.
Because that was your actual first
yeah,
time.
like, that was the first
going
time
through that little.
Going through that whole little like situation. That shit was cool. You know, cap. I'm just like, man, like run that shit back. You know, like.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm like, hi, like a mom. That's when the mom comes out.
Yeah, that shit was cool. That shit was cool. You know.
But yeah, when you're like in those situations, when you're living in those places, I mean, it is what it is. Like you know, it's cool as fuck. It's what you. It's supposed to. It's what's supposed to happen. It's not okay, guys. But when you're in there, you got to go through that program. You have to, or else, like, what's the purpose of you doing what you're doing?
Straight up.
You know.
That shit was cool though.
So you're there for 2 years. Well, tell me when you get to your unit, or was that already in the unit?
Nah, I was in a different unit.
Okay.
As soon as I got to my unit, it was just like, pretty much just like, okay, like this is our section. It's the homies will come to, you know, and then there's like the homies that are already right there. I already know these fools because these fools are from the halls. And then there's other homies there too, but they're from like San Diego. They're from Sacramento County. They're from like all up north, you know, Central Valley, you know. So I'm meeting up all these homies too, you know, and it's just like sometimes I'll land in the dorm where I'll be with nobody from LA. I'll just be with all the homies from up north or like Central Valley. You know?
But hey, tell me, do you guys treat each other the same, or do they like set trip vibes?
Nah, set trip vibes.
You get what I mean, right?
We just different, like. Yeah,
like the way you speak, everything.
Yeah, like those who be trying to be like it's more active up here than none. Then like, bro, stop it, bro. Like y'all gotta go to your enemies, bro. Y'all gotta go like 20 minutes, bro. Like.
Yeah.
Like us, like we right here, like down the street, but it's just like.
What about girls? Did you have any pen pals while you did your?
No, so after in YA, yeah, I had one. You know, like the homegirl, your Haley. She worked in the Navy too. She was like in like the little army and shit.
What?
You know, so she was looking out the whole time right there in YA. She was cool, you know.
That's cool.
She showed a lot of love, you know. And then I got on. Yeah, but she was cool, you know. That was the only one that I was talking to right there, you know, up there, you know. I wasn't really on that. I was just like
trying to get
the out, you know. You know, I wasn't really on that because in there you're just stuck, you know. Like I'm in there for a long period of time. I'm like, man, I can't be worried about these girls, you know.
Yeah, I just mean para pasar to pass time, you know.
Yeah. So I had one though that was like that. She made sure that everything you know that I needed done that was done, you know. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And you say you finished. You got your high school diploma there.
Yeah, graduated. I graduated in the halls right before I took off though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you able to do like college classes there or no?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You could do all that, but I wasn't really trying to get into that.
We were just banging.
Not banging, but I was just pretty much like, cause you gotta go through groups, you know, like they give you groups and they got these little packets, and I was just trying to go through the groups so I could have something to present to board when
I see what you're saying.
Like,
the packets it's what you need to do to show that you're doing good.
Yeah.
So you were doing good because you wanted to come home.
Yeah, hell yeah. Like towards the end, you know. Yeah, towards the end, I'm just like, oh, I have a shot, you know. That's what my attorney, because the attorney, all right. So as soon as I got sentenced, they gave me a different attorney for YA, you know, like, you know,
okay.
I'm gonna have a different case, you know, and I'm gonna have to do like all my appeal cases and everything, so I'm gonna need a different attorney. So Scott Bunny gave me Liz, you know, she's the one that they introduced, or Jacqueline introduced me to Liz. Liz, she's top of A game, she knows everything, you know, like she's the one that got my murder case dismissed, you know, like she's she's the one that like, because I picked up the new case, but
in there,
you know, and when I got out, they dismissed it because I picked up the new one. But she did all that public defender, you know, she showed stupid love. So when I was up there, right, it was 2023. Why I was closing down in June already. It was already like December, January, and I'm just like, I'm already getting to that mark, you know, like my halfway mark. Like, and I was already gonna tell my judge, like, my judge is the one that's gonna like determine, you know, it's not CDCR, because CDCR is already closing. I'm not gonna make it to my board day, you know. It's gonna be the judge. So when I went to the judge, he's going through all my write-ups, and he's seen like, fool, he's like, man, he's like, bro, you're a why would I release you, you know? I'm just like, you know, you're all right, you know.
And what were you getting write-ups for?
Just dumbass shit, just like fights, and just getting caught with a lot of contraband, you know, like phones, wax pens, fucking bars, like all type of shit, you know.
Bongs?
No, bars, like.
Oh, I thought you said bongs. I was like, damn. You're getting bongs?
Hell nah.
Where'd you stash that? That would have been intense, huh?
What, having a bong in there? Yeah. Have all the homies in the cell, chief in there. Nah, but.
So, what would you say was like the nicest thing you experienced while you were in YA those 2 years?
Like the nicest thing?
Yeah, like the nicest thing that you could recall. Like, you know what? I remember this, and this made me feel like nice. Like it was a good deed kind of thing.
I don't know. I used to buy a lot of shoes in there. Like I feel like because there's canteen, but you have a special canteen, and you could like there's a category, you know.
Oh, well, tell me about that.
Nah, or like there's a category and shit, and then fucking.
Category? You mean the catalog or
Yeah,
category?
the catalog. You
Okay.
know? But it's like the one for like white.
Yeah.
It's not like the walking horse or like the other shit. But pretty much like my shit was like shoes. Like I'll like treat myself with shoes. You know, like everything I get, I just get shoes. Like I have a gang of shoes in there. You know.
You could only wear white shoes?
Yeah, white and like a little bit of gray. Not too much though.
So you had all the shoes.
Yeah.
What about clothes?
Close to it, just the same. Just pretty much the
White t-shirts?
uniform that they give you there.
Okay.
And then
And
you
sweats.
could, like wear sweats, you know, and shorts, you know. I just always throw some sweats on with some like some running shoes or something, you know.
And you thought you were all cool with your
It
little
was
shoes.
cold up there. Yeah.
You had to buy beanies and like everything, gloves.
Beanies, all that, you know, sweaters, you know.
And your mom used to send you money? Ah.
Like hell nah. I mean, sometimes yeah, she'll look out, you know, but nah. Just like my little high knives and shit. I'm like,
Why you gotta get shy for it, bro? This guy, don't be
Nah,
getting
but-
shy.
yeah, but that was right up there way.
So shoes were your thing. And what else was I gonna ask you? What was the craziest thing you saw? Because that's like one of the main indicted questions. What's the craziest thing you saw?
The craziest shit, right? So there's this CO, right? She was hitting for us, you know? Like, she was, like, coming, she was, you know? Hitting for us and shit. And we were cashing out, you know? Like, cashing her out because things were expensive in there in White, you know? And this, oh, my bad, but this Haina, she went on a vacation. And with all that money that we were sending her, she just got her body done.
She's
she came
down.
Back down. Yeah, she came down. She came back. She came back with more shit, you know? And she was just, like, and she on the homie, too, that was right there, you know? It's just crazy shit. I'll be in like, in their room, and then just, like the homie will go back there, you know, go get some ice, and then, like, they'll be back there for hours, bro. And then the other side wouldn't even say nothing.
You're kidding. She got her butt. Okay, so the staff, obviously, the YA is already closed, right?
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah, sure do.
The staff was hitting for you guys. And then with all the money, she got her body down.
Straight up. She came back, right? And then she told the homie, she goes like, the homie that, you know, we were getting all the fed and shit, and she was like, she told that fool, she was like, hey, you like my body or what? She was, and the homies are like, yeah, he was like, well, you pay for it. And then she was pissed off.
She's like, down. But did she look cute at least?
Yeah, she was cool.
Okay.
All the wood out right there would be trying to get at her. Everybody would be trying to get at her.
She's down for that one, huh?
There's this old fool.
She's like, gracias.
Yeah, straight up. And she'd be like, and like.
She was Latina?
Yeah, she was Latina. She was like a little, like a weta. And then like, she'd be like, all the older fools, like that be working right there, like the hood and shit. There's this one fool named Gonzo. This fool, like, that's the way, like, muy, like that fool, like, he likes to show off what he has, you know? And like, she be getting, like, she belongs in our unit, you know? She's assigned to our unit. And then she be going to that fool's unit, like, the whole time. She'll leave, fool. She'll leave.
She'll
like,
go probably bang that fool.
She'll, like, leave and shit. And
Damn,
she'll leave
fucking
her
little
partner.
hoe.
Yeah, she'll leave her partner right there and shit. And then, like, what you, like, she was cool, though. That shit was corrected up there. That shit was cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, it made your time pass. Yeah. It made you, like, it made your little experience there okay. Yeah, obviously, like, there's sad moments. What was a sad moment? Obviously, when you're there, you're not like, oh, but that you remember, like, in your heart, like, you're like, damn, that's sad.
The saddest moment was, I don't know.
Those sad moments? Damn, well, no heart having ass fool.
I don't think no sad moments.
So all good. Did you have radios in there for you guys in your rooms, radios. Walkmans or whatever?
Well, yeah, and then TVs too.
TVs. And your cells. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, so you guys basically had it all.
Everything.
Nice.
Yeah, that shit was cool.
Well, what about when they closed down? What happened after that? Like when you were like, hey,
they were shutting down units, right? They were shutting down the units, and then they'll be like, all right, like all these fools right here, that they're in this unit, boom, they'll be like, say the county, say probably like they're like, say Sacramento probably has like 15 kids in there. Sacramento's gonna come pick them up, boom, they'll be like, and then boom, and then they'll move it like everybody else, they'll move them into a different room, and then they'll shut that one down. And then so it's all when the counties are picking up the
Oh,
kids.
wow.
Because like LA County, they had their kids up there forever.
That's what
like
they get.
They didn't have like they don't have no space for us. Like they didn't have no space for us at the time, right? So when I was coming back down, right? They shut down East Lake. So they sent all those fools from East Lake to Silmar, right? And then they split them up to Silmar, and then they opened LP, because LP wasn't even open up at the time. LP was closed. So then they opened it back up, right? And then, right, so then they moved all those fools right there. And then Silmar was going to close down because YA was closing down, right? And Silmar has the compound. So they were going to use the whole compound, everybody right there that was fighting hot time or like that was going to do a long time. They were just going to do it there. And then when they did good, they were going to go to the camp. Like that's the last destination before they get out, Mm-hmm. And fucking, so it was just a gang of battles, And then me, I was in Silmar, right? I came back down because they told me that I couldn't get released, So I had to come back down, right? So when I came back down, right? So I go back to the halls. It's different, I'm just like, damn, the staff is like, damn, like it's been years since I seen the staff, So I'm coming back with this mentality that I had up there.
Different. You're different.
Because
You're different, Pupps.
Yeah, I'm a whole different Pupps on the hood. So like I was up there with like a lot of homies that, like we're from prison and then came over, and we got that little bit of knowledge and like what the how to like I didn't know how to spark a fucking blunt or like a joint with batteries, like shit.
Well,
like
tell
that.
us how you spark a joint with batteries.
You just pretty much you put a razor right here at the bottom and then you just get a batteries and then you just flip it upside down, right? And then you could literally just put it down and it's gonna get hot and then you just have the coil and then you just put it to like right there with a blunt, And that's just gonna get hot. The coil's gonna get hot, and that's just gonna spark up. So instead of doing all that whole like light and all that, like I ain't trying to turn on my power or the homie's power because I'm over fucking with the light. I did that shit a couple of times in there. Like the homies, I shut off probably like the whole, not the whole thing, but like probably like mine and the homies, and then it was a Gavas, and then there was a Norteños. I had to turn off their power because I was with it.
Try to spark it something up.
I was my celly was cooking some White Island, and then he was making that shit, and then you need power, but you need extension cords. Now you're gonna blow your shit out, and this dumbass fool blew it out. So we were in there done. I had my phones in there, and I had nothing to charge my shit, and I had to wait. And sometimes the hoodlums be an asshole, and they wouldn't want to open it, or sometimes they want something, to open that shit. And then
you're
like,
kidding.
And then they're like, "Hey, what happened?" And they're like, "Hey, why that shit got?" And then I'm just like, I don't know. Like I had my hot pop, that shit popped it. And then they'll be like, "All right, cool," and then they'll turn that shit back on and shit. That's why I just stick to the batteries and shit, And I wouldn't even smoke joints or nothing like Yescon, because that shit's like a burn.
Yeah, it smells too much.
That shit smells, So I just be on that wax,
Ah.
I stay with wax in there.
Really?
Yeah, every day, yep. My cash app. She used to run up my cash app.
Really?
I'd be like, "Hey, babe, send me honey real quick." Fast every time. I'll be like, or sometimes I'll hit.
I'd be like, fool, you're fucking old.
I'll be like, "Yeah, I need 500, Or I'll be like, but I got them on time pretty cool with that.
That's cool.
So it was
because
cool.
you were making your money back anyways.
Yeah, they showed me a lot of love this time. This term, my first term,
Yeah.
That showed a lot of love.
Well, hopefully you only have one term and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's pray.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened?
All right, so when I came back down, so they were determined. They're like, all right, you can't be here in Silmar. They're like, because I wasn't SYTF. SYTF is that.
Well, you're already like 20.
Yeah, I was already 20, and I was just regular. I already had did my time. Just pretty much, I'm just continuing my time. And I didn't to stay at Silmar. You got to be SYTF. You got to be sentenced to that program. And I didn't get sentenced to that program. I got sentenced to CYA.
Yeah.
To they call it DJJ now, whatever the case they call it. But so they're like, okay, they're like, everybody that's coming back down from YA is SYTF, and I was the only kid that didn't get on SYTF. Or there's other ones too,
Like a few.
Yeah, but those who stayed right there, but they kicked me out. They're like, by I think it was like June 25th or like June 26th, they had to get me out of there, out of somewhere. I was the only kid by like mandatory. Like there was no SYTF. If you wasn't SYTF, you can't be there.
So where did they have to put you?
So that's why I'm just like, okay, this was not trying to release me. My judge is not trying to release me. He's talking about, 3 more months. I need to see good behavior. So I'm just like, what the f-? I'm just like, man. So then they're like, we're going to have to send you to LP. So I'm just like, fuck. Sorry. Like, all right, fuck it. LP just opened up. They sent all those fools from, like, East Lake and then from Silmar. Because Silmar closed down. Only those fools are staying over there. So it's pretty much like everybody from the valley, Downey area, and then fucking East LA, Sereno, like Long Beach, all that shit, just going right there, all hoods, you know, and just in one jail, you know, that shit just jumping. That shit's going up. And me, I'm 20 years old, right?
You're coming down from YA.
Yeah, I couldn't go to the compound because they had a compound or like a little like section where all those fools were fighting their time. They took them out of there because it wasn't SYTF. So they had them in a little spot. And I couldn't be right there because I wasn't fighting a violent case, you know? So they're like, we can't have you right there that if you're not fighting a hot one, you know? I already did my time. So they're like, where we're gonna put you at? So then I'm in the front, right, for like probably like 3 hours. I'm just waiting to see what unit I'm gonna go to. And then my staff, right, shout out to Ruacabra, you know, that fool comes, right? That fool pulls up and that fool looks at me, he was like, oh, what's up, Miranda? And I'm like, what's up? The fool's like, when'd you come back down? And I was just like, bro, like I just barely came back down. Like they don't know where to put me. He was like, what? He's like, hey, I'm an ex. He goes like, your homeboy, he's like, you have a homeboy from your hood right there. I'm like, what? And I'm like, hey, talk to the supervisor, tell him like if I could go up there. He's like, don't trip, I got you. So he talked to the OD that day and he talked to the supervisor and he goes like, Miranda, all right, boom. He goes, he's cool. He's like, yeah, don't trip. Like, I got him, you know? And then I go up there, I go all the way back there and shit. And I'm just like, damn, I'm in the halls, bro. Like, this shit is like,
Not
bro,
cool.
You know, that shit's not good at all, you know? Like,
You went from doing the
yeah,
most.
from the, you know, like, I'm cool, you know, the staff, like, everything, you know, and these dumbass staff is going to want to be like on some, you know, like, oh, we were, like, nah, bro, you know? Because it was a hassle because everybody's off the chain right there.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to just figure out who's in the run. Is it the kids or is it going to be probation, you know? So it's just that constant battle, you know?
Yeah.
There's some units that, you know, the kids had, you know, they'll run the program, you know, and the staff would just listen. And mine's, and staff had it because of Rubacara and how he, you know, he'll bring his PS4. He had everybody on lock, you know, but it was just the second shift that be acting like assholes, you know. And then they don't leave till 10 o'clock at night, you know, and they're trying to shut down program at 7:30. Bro, you're not finna have me in my room for like 4 hours till you leave, fool. Like, I was going in my room and Wyatt like at 9, you know, like 9:30, fool. Like, I'm not finna, you know. So they were trying to get over and me, I wasn't going down for shift change because they'll put us in our rooms, right, for like 2:30, like 2:45. I wasn't doing none of that shit. I'm like, why I gotta be in my room for you guys to, you know,
Switch
like,
out,
I'm gonna just be on the phone kicking it, you know, like, and so it was just a hassle in that, and then it was a hassle of going in my room at 8 o'clock, and I was like, man, I'm not doing that.
So you
shit.
were like, talk poop.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm not gonna go to my room at 8 o'clock, bro. Like, fool, I went a whole 2 years or like a year, bro, like. You know, like I already had my program, bro. Like, you know, and when we was over there,
And then they're like, well, you're in a different program now.
And then when we were at somewhere, like, you know, the units that we were going to, they allowed us to express our programs. Like, look, this is our programs, because look, I'm used to going to breakfast this morning. I'm used to doing this. I'm used to doing that. You know, I'm not used to just being in my cell all day or being in a day room all day, not doing shit. Like, I'm gonna spaz out, bro. Like, I'm not even finna spaz out, but it's just like I'm gonna get irritated, bro, you know?
And then there's like more fights
and then we can't even
go
outside because, you know, like y'all over here worried about these little ass kids running to us, you know? Like, bro, we just trying to, you know? So it was just a whole thing, you know? So I'm just like,
wow, that's
so
a lot.
Like, yeah, so I'm
that's
like
a lot going on.
Yeah, so I'm already getting to, this is July. This is like the beginning of July. I'm already getting to August. August is right there. I just got to wait till August 28th, and then I was already going to get released, you know, because that was the max time he could help.
Held you.
Yeah, help me in the juvenile hall. Not release me, you know? So then...
and he couldn't send you to the county.
Yeah, he couldn't send me to the county.
Because your case is your juvenile.
The juvenile case, so he's like, he's either release me on probation or have to release me, or you got to do something or send me to a placement, you know? So then one day, I don't know if you had heard, this was like last year, but a little riot happened where the sheriffs had pulled up, you know, with Downey's, you know, like they shut down the whole you know, because like, you know, we got loose wild and shit, you know. I ended up on the news. The kid kind of, that shit, the ghetto bird was over and everything.
Really?
Yeah, so
I don't remember.
I started because pretty much they wanted me to go to my room and I'm like,
wait, you started that?
I didn't start it though. The whole incident, you know? The whole incident, yeah. But like they so pretty much, right, they wanted us to do something and they were like, nah, fuck that. Cause it's like, bro, like it's halfway, bro. Like, all right, I'm gonna go to my room, bro. But it's like, bro, you guys gotta at least give us like extra like 30 minutes, you know, like on the phones or something, you know. Like, y'all was not even trying to work with us. So like, I'm gonna be an asshole too. Like, you wanna be an asshole, I could be an asshole too. And it's like, I wasn't even trying to be disrespectful with her, but it's just like I know what's up, you know. Like, I know what's up, you know. Don't try to like get the upper hand on me or try to, you know, be big dog on me because I'm not finna like that shit. And she tried to be like, oh, where you from? And she would be like, oh, like, and then she tried to be like, oh, I know a lot of your older homies, you know, I know a lot of your, like, you know, like, what you doing? And be like, okay, like,
and what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
What does that got to do with anything, fool? Like, what is he gonna do, you know? Like, we're gonna put him on the phone and I'm just hang up right, you know, like, respectfully hang up on the phone.
He'll get it.
Don't tell me nothing, you know,
yeah.
Like, straight up. And then she tried doing that. She tried to be like, oh, I know the person that has your whole hood, you know? And I'm like, okay, like, if you're gonna scare me, you know, like.
Yeah.
That's
So
my
that fool
pop.
send mine, you
Yeah,
know?
like, that's my pop, like, that's my dad right there, like,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm okay, like, okay, like, well, tell him I send mine, And she was just, and after that, I'm just like, there's other supervisor, he kept getting tired of that shit, and he got in my face, and I pushed that fool, I pushed him, and that's when this little black kid, right, he was running, like, with the homies, like, he was, like, from, like, this, like, he was from the Mexican hood, but he was black,
Yeah.
But he wasn't, like, official, he was just, like, trying to fit in where
You're
he fit
just
in,
claiming.
We just use you guys to crash them, in the halls right there. So then we had that fool, right? So then that fool's like, hey, back up off the homie, And that fool's like, oh, what are you going to do about it? He goes like, oh, I'm going to get off on your staff. And that fool's like, you ain't finna do nothing. He was in front of me. He goes like, oh, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. And that fool little boxer, was a black fool, That fool's like, all right, he counted down to like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He's
counted
down, huh?
And that fool just went up to the staff and just stuck off on that fool. Bow, bow, bow. And the staff just fell. And that's when all the staff, that shit just jumped off on the hood. Like all the staff were trying to get the kids, and the homies were trying to get the staff off the homies. Like it was just a gang and shit. And
Wow.
And then that's when
so the staff adults were hitting the young the juveniles.
Yeah, the staff were taking off on the homies too. Like the negros, like they're checking it up with the homies and shit. They'll be in the corner. There'll be like 3 of us checking it with one staff on the hood. Like the homies.
Wow.
Like my homies. I don't know. That was we were getting packed out. Like
that's my boy.
That was getting packed out in the corner, and I had to go get the staff off of that fool. Hey, I was with that fool. That fool got ad charged that day. So boom,
that's like my boy.
Yeah,
like I love him.
Yeah, so that whole after all that shit had happened,
he's gonna watch it. I'm a clown. Is that damn fool? You get packed out.
Hey, so after all that shit had happened,
I love him.
We fucking because they had the doors locked, fool. So the homie boxer he broke down the door. He kicked that. That was a thick ass door. He kicked that shit down. We kicked it down, and then we all ran out because what we do right in LP, we're like the building X, we're in the back. So what we'll do right is say the homie's girl would throw a pack over, right? Like she'll throw it over the wall and it'll be right there. And then we were ignores that because we're already looking,
Yeah.
So boom, I'll be like, all right, it'll be my turn and the homie. So boom, me and him. So I'll be like, all right, I'll squab, like I'll play fire with them, but we'll actually get down, boom, shock each other. But we gotta go to the nurse. They gotta open up that door, so we could go out. As soon as they open up that door, we just. And then we'll go get it. We'll just run, and then we'll just run, and then we'll meet them at medical, and then they'll be like, "Why are you doing that?" And they'll be like, "They already know what time it is.
Yeah,
I already have it secured, So just like that though. But the homie, so we all ran out.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we all ran out, and then we're all like, there's people from like kids from different units, that broke out too, And they're
really,
we're just running around everywhere and shit.
Yeah, so it was like a disaster.
Yeah, so that shit, the staff, and then that fucking broke the desk and started getting like the little like some metal shits, and then the staff got scared, so they went inside the office, and then they're like, "Oh nah, call the sheriffs."
These fools are getting out of control.
So then they're like, "No more, don't send no more staff up here," or like all the
get
staff
the actual
locked the
cops.
doors, And that's when sheriffs came. They brought the dogs. Literally, full raw outside, we're running, right? And then all you hear is like the dog barking. When they let that shit loose, boom, everybody's running to the back because it's a gate. And then we jump the gate, and then you just see lights and shit. And boom, you see all the kids getting caught. Some because they're getting, they're
by the dog.
No, not by the dog, by the huras,
Yeah,
it's a gang of them. They're just grabbing them. The chopper's right there on us, and boom, we're outside of our building, outside of our X, and we're just right there banging the hood. Everybody's banging the shit on the chopper and shit.
Oh my goodness.
Ghetto bird, and that's when they finally come. And I'm like, that shit. I'm 20 years old, bro. I'm finna get ad charged for this shit, bro. Like, take my ass back inside, right?
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, it's supposed to go inside.
So I was just like, man, it's right. So food, these dumbass fools, right? That's just dumbass. Up the gate, you have the fence or like the wall, right? Because the wall's not that big, and then he had all these fucking black tall fools
push them up.
Yeah, so these fools push. Stilo's right there helping them, fool, and they hope this fool get over it, fool. Boom, this fool bounces over that shit. And that fool's gone, fool. That fool's just like going down the street, And I guess the Hudas are already getting there, So boom, after that,
wow.
I sit down on the curb, right? I sit down on the curb, and then that's when the homies come. They're like, "Hey, fool, go back inside, fool."
That's it, guys.
Yeah, they're like, go back inside. So then we go back inside, right? And then boom, we go back inside, and then we have all the doors like with the sheets. We have, so they can't come in, And then boom, there's different fools from the other units inside our unit, So bro, everybody's gonna get caught, fool, straight up. So then, right, so then I go to my doors open, right, because we could pop them, right. So we just push this shoe in the thing, and then we could just pop our doors,
Yeah.
So I have my door pop. So then I had literally when all that shit was going on, literally everybody's in the day room, and I just slipped in myself. Boom, I just slipped in, and I go in there, phone that for goes, because he was my neighbor. He was, so he goes in there, boom, and then we go, and that's when the Huras come, and all these dumbass fools, they try to go in the room, try to play it off and shit. And then I lock my shit, boy, I lock my door, and I'm just right there kicking it, right? I'm just right there kicking, eating some chips. And boom, like, cause in LP is the golf course, you know, I was all that shit right there. Boom, the whole shit's filled with hood. I was like everything. I'm looking out, boom. They like the hood are like the SWAT's in there. I was just like, oh damn.
Yeah, I'm in my room.
Yeah, I'm in my room. They help. They come in. They help the staff get out. You know, like from the
so they could be safe.
Yeah, so then they come on, boom, all the staff, you know, boom, on it. No, you were involved, you, and I just like fuck. Hopefully, like they don't tell me nothing. I was in my room, right? So they're going from each cell, you know, like they're getting them out, you know. And then boom, right? So I'm in room 12. I think Stilo's in room 13, and they're already like in room 14, you know. And then they come, and then they come to me, right? And then the staff opens it, and then they flash the light. What the? They're like, hey, put your hands in it, and I'm like, get the fuck out of there. I had nothing to do with this shit. My shit was locked. That was all like, nah. And then there's another staff that comes. She was like, nah, get him out of here. And then that boom, the supervisor comes, right? But this was cool. This was cool as fuck, you know. Like he was a black fool. He comes, he's like, nah, he wasn't involved. His door was locked. He was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, man. He went, boom, they closed it. Boom, on the hood. I'm just like, oh, gosh.
Dang.
I'm like, good looking.
Wow.
Yeah, so they showed stupid love. So then, because I was already about to go home, you know, and then
they knew. He probably knew that as well.
He knew what's up, you know, so he wasn't trying to jeopardize me. And then, boom, they snatched rice. Over the goes. Look, this fool, he goes in there with his clothes on and he comes out with his clothes off. I'm like, what the fuck?
That would change. Yeah. Hey, they leave him alone.
He didn't have nothing on. He just had boxers. This fool just had boxers on, like, and the hood has dragged this fool, like the hood has dragged that fool out of.
And he's a solid little
big boy.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
They got that fool out of there, you know, and they put them all at the church, and then they got Weddle down the street.
Oh, they got him.
They got that fool. He was in the trash bin, you know. I'm over here trying to call his Hainan to collect to go tell them, hey, go pick him up. They ended up getting that fool. They ended up getting everybody.
Damn, you were all smooth.
Yeah, I was cool, and then probably 2 weeks later, I get released.
Really?
No.
But you didn't know that you were gonna get released. You you did.
Yeah, I already knew. You know, so I'm like, fuck.
And how did that go for you?
Cool. I went back to my mom's. I went back to my mom's on house arrest.
And how was that?
It
the
was
worst?
Cool. Nah, it was cool for a little bit. And
how did you adjust? Right, you adjusted right away or no?
Yeah, and then we were just getting into it a lot, you know, because I haven't been home and she expected a lot of things from me, and it just like
which is understandable.
You know, so I wasn't giving her that, and we wasn't seeing eye to eye, and it just things happened, and I just went back to the hood, and then I was with my ex, you know, at the time, and I wasn't even out that long. I was probably only out for 2 months, fresh off of house arrest. I got out, and then I got busted.
For what?
Yeah, for 2 straps in the hood. You know,
oh no!
Literally, I was already supposed to go home. And then, no matter of fact, I was on the phone arguing with my mom's, right? Because I had my ex's car at my house parked. Cause I crashed it, you know? And I was supposed to get it fixed, but I never fixed it. And she was supposed to come, and then my mom thought I still had the keys. But I'm like, bro, I gave you the keys because I was already finna leave, you know? So they're over here blaming me that I got the keys. I'm like, bro, I don't have the keys, right? So I'm already coming from Montclair back to the east side. And then my ex needed to use the restroom. So I'm just like, all right. Go stop right here, go to the hood real quick, go to the barbershop, go use the restroom. So she hops out, I'm with the homie, you know, and he's burning it up, I'm burning it up, and then we hop on, and that's from my homie, rest in peace, Scooby. Big Scooby got killed right there in that same parking lot. That's the homie that I have on my shirt right here.
Okay.
And so I'm like, bro, I'm not taking no chances at that lot, you know, never have, never will, you know, straight up. So I really, like I told myself before, I really get caught with it than without it, you know. So I pulled up. I had my thing on me, you know, and the homie left his in the car. And I just told him, just be on there. I'm going to go inside. So we go inside. We use the restroom. We come out. I'm smoking up a blunt, but my back is against the parking lot. And she's facing towards the parking lot. And I'm on the phone. And I'm on FaceTime, you know, trying to be like, hey, I don't got the keys. Woo, no fighting. And then by the time they said, I heard a crash late. And then by the time I turn around, I'm over here thinking that it was somebody creeping up. Because the high notes were like, so when she turned around, I kind of gripped my shit too, and I'm just like, what? And I seen the hood, I'm just like, fuck. She was like, puppy, don't move, and I'm just like, fuck. And she was like, you know what time it is? And I'm like, hell nah. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm not on probation no more. I was like, look, cause that's the only reason why they were pulling me over, because of the monitor, you know. And I was getting away with that shit that I wasn't on probation because I didn't have my shit on, you know. And fucking, I didn't have it on, but she was like, nah, she already had a hard on for me because I already had got off of that hot one. And she was like, fuck that. You're not finna be out here. I'm finna put you right back. I gotta go see this family. You know, I'm always patrolling over there. She was like, nah, you know, so she was already on me. And sure enough, I'm like, so then she's right in front of me. So I'm just like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do on the set? So I just ran. So I just, boom, tried to hit the cup. And no, boom, I ran. That fool just got me. I didn't see the partner. I didn't see that fool, Guevara. I didn't see that fool come. That fool got me. Boom. and then tackled me, and we're going at it on the floor, boom, because I had it on me, you know, I had my shit on me, so I'm just trying to just get my shit, just toss my shit, or try to just, you know, get this shit away from me. So we're going at it, but I'm trying to like get back up though, because I'm on the floor, I'm trying to get back up, and he's trying to hold me down. And then that's when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna tase you," but when she whipped out the taser, it wasn't even a fuck. It was a strap, full straight up. She
Really?
And when I seen that shit, I'm like this, and I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna like you got me, fool." Like I was like, "It's good." I was like, and then after that, I was like, "You don't gotta do all that." And that's when she seen that she had the burner in her hand. She looked, and then she was like, she put it back. And that's when that fool just grabbed me, boom. He put me back up.
Wow, she said she was gonna taser you, but she had the strap in her hand.
She's good, like, you know, she knew what she was doing. And I'm just like, you know, and then, cause she knew how to strap, you know. And then, boom, as soon as I'm getting up, the strap falls, boom. It was a 4-5, it was a spring flash, it falls, boom, shit smacks. I'm just like, fuck. And after that, they moved me fast, and they're like, oh, move. And then she picked it up, and then they put me against the cop car, and then they're searching me, right? And then when they're searching me, boom, I had her car keys, I had my phone, I had his phone on I had both of his phones on me, and then I had my phone, I had the car keys, and I'm just like, so boom, as soon as she's searching me, she pulled out the car keys, and then she looks at the car, and then she's looking at the parking lot, and then she presses the lock, and they're not supposed to do that. As soon as they unlock it, boom, there's other units, boom, they all storm, boom, there's like probably like 7 of them, they all go straight to the car, boom, they put the straps out to the car to see if there's anybody in there, and then there's nobody in there, and then they found another strap, and then they flipped the car. They took the car for investigated for a hot one because some shit had happened in the car, and they took me and then they took her, you know, and then we were over at the station and shit, and then they were trying to get her like to be like, oh, that pretty much that she was right there with me, you know, like, but she was like, nah, and they were telling me like when they pulled up, they're like, hey, fool, they're like,
she said it all.
Yeah, she said it all already, fool. So what you trying to do, you know? Like, what
they typically do, yeah.
You know, like, are you going to take this one or this one? I'm like, well, you fools already got me for the one you fools got me. Like, you know, I can't fight that one. Like, you know, the other one, if you fools try to smack me with it, it was in the car. That's not my car, bro. Then why'd you have the car keys? Because I was going to give it to the owner of the parking lot because I found him on the floor. He was like, bro, we know what time it is. And I'm just like, well, you fools, you know, know what's up too, you know? Mm-hmm. And then they were trying to say that, because I was like, man, I don't know her, you know? And then like, bro, that's your girl, type of shit. And like, what she was saying that you pulled up and, you know,
yeah.
All that shit, you know? I'm just like, man, like straight up, like, just shoot it, you know? If you fools are gonna hit me with it, hit me. And then, sure enough, because the hood that was right there, that fool trying to get at her the whole time. There was some other fool, Beshaver, on the hood. He's a little, that fool was always trying to get at her, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm over here in the tank, fool. I'm inside the tank, you know? I'm over here stretching. I'm just like, you know, and that fool's over there like with the door open, like trying to get at her, you know, like don't trip, you know, like I'm gonna get you out of here and this.
Yeah.
You know, typical. Wow. Like, man, cool, you know, I ain't tripping. So after that, sure enough, she walks out. Boom. I don't know what was said or nothing, you know, and you know she just walks out and shit, and then she goes by her day and then take me and I go to the county. I mean, I didn't even go to the halls or nothing. I'm like,
well, now you're bigger.
Yeah, now I'm big. I'm like, oh yeah, county jail shot, you know, like.
Oh, and it's your first time.
First time, you know.
Tell me about that.
That shit was cool, you know, like going through the whole like intake, getting there, you know, and it's just.
Well, tell us a little bit about it.
Like so you gotta go through like the whole like first you gotta like that's just a mission first to even land in a module like you gotta like go through like probably like 2 or 3 days food like before you even land to a module, you know. And I was just stuck. First you gotta like, you know, like they take all your samples, you know, and you know you like you going out and you gotta shower. All the showers was the worst part. Oh my gosh.
Why?
Because literally I got there right, so I'm like. So then they take all our clothes and they're doing all that shit, and then they're giving us they're giving us our shower robes, you know, to everything that we, like taking off, you know. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna keep my Nike socks. So I kept my Nike socks, right? So I'm like, showering, fool. I'm walking in, there's a gang of showers and there's just the benches, and I'm just like, damn, there's a gang of homies in here, fool. Like everybody's in this shit, fool. Like straight Mandingo party. I'm like, what the f- is this? I'm just like, what the f-? So I just right there. I right there with the homie from Harvey's and shit, cause it's like it's my first time. I don't know nobody, you know. I introduced myself to him, you know. He introduced himself to me. It's your first time. He was like, yeah. I was like, don't chip. I got you till you hit it, till you hit, you know, wherever you hit at. So I'm like, all right, cool.
That's
so,
nice.
Yeah. So he was guiding me along the whole ways and shit, and that shit was cool. Like I should just like, you know, boom, we I changed, and then after that, I finally got my Kanye blues. I'm just like, oh, I thought it was a shit. I got the Crocs on. I'm like, for these, you know. Boom, we go.
So you guys get Crocs now?
Yeah, the Crocs, you know, it's the black ones and shit. And then I got some shout out County Blues, you know? And I'm just like, okay, so boom, we go. And then we go get searched. Boom, we go to the MCJ jail. And then that's when they're like, all right, we're going to figure out where all, like, you know, they're taking us where we're going to go and shit. And then, boom, we hit the 2200s floor, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. And then as I'm going, right, it's the dungeons, you know, straight up, it's the dungeons in the 2200s. Right then, it's the 22s, the 24s, you know, the 23s, you know. And as I'm going, before I look, I'm like, what? I'm just like, damn, they got these people in straight hobblers, straight cages. I was like, what the f? So I'm just like, I go and I see everybody like, you know, like, cause I ain't never seen the county jail, you know, like I ain't
Yeah, this is
like,
new.
the homies know where the homies is going and shit, you know, the glass house and all that shit, you know. But I'm like, man, I ain't never been to right here, you know. So boom, as I'm going, it's the sheriff. I'm like, what is that, you know? And I'm like, looking, I was like, where's the day room? And I'm like, bro, as I go on,
There's no day room.
Hey, shit, boy, hey, nothing. So as I'm walking, some homie from Choppers, he comes and he hits me. He's like, what's up? What they call you? And I told him, and then he goes like, all right. He goes like, you have a homie right here, you know, your homie Smiley's right here. And that's when I told him. Then literally like for everybody, there's no doors, nothing. You could literally like you could yell out to the fool at the end of the hallway, you know. He calls me, hey Smiley, he's like, hey, what's up? He's like, hey, your homeboy just pulled the. He's like, who? And I was like, Pupps. Like, oh what? Tell him my semi, you know what to do. And then I'm like, where you going? I'm like 2200s. I'm be on Baker Road. He was like, get up, tell him I'm gonna send him something right now. And then boom, like later on that time, boom, whole care package, you know.
Super nice.
Cool. And then I landed right, boom, I'm going. And then as I'm going, as I'm walking, I go like all the way to the last, so like probably like the second to last one. I'm just walking. I'm like, what?
It's like long?
Yeah, it's just long. It's just a wall, literally, like it's just a wall, like, you know.
And they have cells.
Yeah.
And they're like, how many cells?
Probably like 15 cells. That's a lot of cells. It's
Super tiny.
Yeah, it's
tiny cells.
It's a 4-man cell. It's a 4-man cell. So it's two bunks, and then it's the restaurant right there, you know.
Got it.
And so then as I went to the back, as I'm walking, the homies like, hey, who's that? And then cause they seen the Yankee, and then they're like, hey, come over here. They're like some order foods. They're like, hey, come over here, youngster. Like, come over here, YG. And then I come, oh shit. Like, where you from? I'm from V&E. And then boom, the homie from the lot heard that shit. Like, who's from V&E? And then we know we cool with them, you know. And I'm like, it's like me. And then he goes like, ooh, come here. And I go in my little bag and shit.
Oh, because obviously you already knew that it wasn't like you were. It wasn't fighting
like that. Yeah, I already knew what time it was.
Okay.
You know, because I'll be with a lot of my older homies.
Yeah.
So like, you know, so I already knew what time it was. And then he goes like, where you from? V&E. He's like, oh, you from the projects? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yep, don't trip. I'm pop my door. I was in 5 block. I was in 2200s Baker Road 5. You know. He pops it. Same. The homie from Hoodlum family. The homie from Pasa, and then him. And that shit was cool. I landed in the right spot. I landed where they cut hair, where they tattoo, where
they did everything.
Everything, the whole thing, you know, like that shit was cool. I got mad love, you know, like the homie.
So you cut your hair right when you got there?
Yeah, you know, so the homie had it right there. The homie had it, you know. So he pulled up and shit. And then he told me, he was like, hey, get out those blues. And then he gave me, I saw those boxers in there, right? The boxers are green ones, right? And they're like big for like the foods for like 4X, 5X, you know, but like foods use them as boxers, you know.
Okay.
And they cut them up and shit. And then he slammed me those as shorts, you know. So I put them on and shit. And then he goes like, don't trip. He goes like, in the morning, I'm gonna get you some brand new, like some fresh blues, you know, don't trip. And then that's when the Tracy's came. And then he slid them like a couple of sopas, you know, some chichas and some shit like that. And then he came back with 2 pairs, boom, one for core and one for the pad, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
And then, boom, I went to a store and then I got my Rollins, my white shoes, you know. You gotta get Mando, you know. You can only get 1 pair each time. So I got one. And then I'll just keep the Crocs for inside. And then every time I go out to the core, I'll put the Rollins on. You know, but I always had shoes like that. I had probably like 2-3 pairs. You know, I had one for the pad, you know, and then one for courts, and then one for yard and shit. You know, going up, shit like that. Shit was cool. And then,
what about your first time going to yard there?
Yeah, so like it was in the morning. You know, they're like, hey, we're gonna go. So I'm like, into a yard. So we're like, all right, you know, let's go. And the homie's like, you gonna like this shit? And I'm with the homie Chucky, right? And he's like probably like close to my age. He's probably like 3 years older than me, you know. And then boom, we're going and shit. And then as we're boom, they popped all the cells doors open, right? They popped everything open, and boom, we all step out.
It's like your first time.
Yeah, it's my first time. Boom, we step out, and I'm looking like all the homies. I'm just like looking at.
Because you're observing, obviously.
Yeah, I'm looking at everybody. You know, boom, I'm looking at the homies, my neighbors. I'm looking at this person. You know, I'm looking at all the homies all gathered up. I'm trying to figure out like who's from where. You know, like who's who. You know, like type shit. You know, and there's a lot of morenos here too. You know, like a lot of negros. So we gotta deal with that shit too. You know, and it's just a gang of chaos going on. Niggas are smoking. You know, like all type of shit, bro. Like and boom, as we're pushing, boom, like we wait, you know, we wait for the rest of the homies, you know, and boom, we go like in a group with the homies and shit. We go as soon as we go outside in the hallway, boom, we get searched. The who that search us, and then after that we do all that shit, and then boom, we walk up. And MCJ, we walk up all the way to the roof, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so you walk up, we go to the elevators and shit, and we walk up, and then you just passing by and shit, you just like right there, and you go up, and then Sometimes other like a different fucking dorm will pull up, you know, and it's just a gang of homies. Certain homies will walk,
Clowny.
certain homies will work out, play basketball. The homies will play cars. Fools will be on the phone, and then me, I was right there. I was just hanging out with the homie from the lot, you know. And that's when I met a gang of like fools, you know. And then at the time, I'm coming fresh off the streets, right? And my homeboy Scrappy just got killed, so it was just like, you know, it was just a neighborhood that we were going at it with. And then I was on that. I'm like, man, if I see anybody, I'm gonna rent it, and I'm gonna take whatever I got coming, you know, straight up, you know. And I seen this food from there, you know, like they're like, hey, there's some food from right here, and I was just like, oh, where? And he was like, yeah, and I'm just like, oh, who? And then the homie points it, and he's black, you know, like, you know, it's the homie, you know, he's not the homie, but he points it to him, and I'm over here thinking it's the other homie, but I'm like, that fool's like, nah, and I'm like, this one, I'm like, oh, okay. And then he calls him, he goes like, hey, fool, come here, and he goes like, hey, this is the homie for V&E, and he's like, oh, what's up? And then boom, I introduced myself, he was like, oh, what's up? And then we just start chopping it up, you know, and that fool's like, hey, what's up, like, you know, and then so I'm not gonna talk to you like that, bro. You know, like whatever you need to speak about, like, bro, like what was done is done, you know. And fucking, he wanted to get into like all like the politics and shit like that. And I'm like, fool, like I'm not here for that, bro. Like, you know, like I'm here for some other shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like you could take that up to whoever you want to take that up to, and then it was just like that. And he tried to be like, because of who my pops was and who my tios were and everything. And I was like, oh, you're related to these people and these people. And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, oh, what? He tried to like switch up and be cool with me, you know, like,
yeah.
Oh, I know so and so, you know, like from your hood, like. And then he tried to show love, and I'm just like, man, whatever.
You knew what kind of person he was.
So I just kept it pushing, but I was just like, that's the first experience, like, you know, like being like, all right, in a situation where just like, what you gonna do? You feel me? Like.
And so how long? Well, what happened with this case?
Well, for this case, so I was in MCJ, and I couldn't be right there because I guess I wasn't finding that much time or whatever. So then I went to Wayside, and then right there I landed. That shit was cool too. It was a different setting because now I went from cell living to dorm living.
Okay.
And that just fuck that, man. Wayside, that shit sucks. 6 o'clock in the morning count. So you right. So in the morning, it's a dumbass alarm, like, you know, loud as fuck, and then you gotta turn around. So you're sleeping, and then you gotta turn around. You gotta put your blues on, and then you gotta put your risk out because you got your bandana, you know. And then you gotta do the count, and then boom. Then after that, it's already like you're already up, you know. You're already fucking up, you know. So and then it's just the whole count, but man, that's just bullshit right there. And then the south, and then I went from west side to south. South was cool because south is still dorm living, but you're just in a cottage, like, you know, and it's just one hallway, and then just like you're just in a pad, and the hoodas are not even in it. The hoodas are outside in the bubble, you know. That shit was cool. That shit was cool as.
Just like chilling.
Yeah, you're just chilling, you know, and it's just like, it's like the day room is 2 day room, right? You walk in, and then it's like it's a day room right here, and then it's like the Morenos, and then it's us, and then it's the racks. Boom, it's all the racks, and it'd probably be like the first left hand side would be like the Morenos, and then the whole right side would be all the homies, and then like the whole back left side would be the homies and shit.
Okay.
And then the back would be the phones. It'll be 2 phones, the showers, and then the restrooms. And the restrooms are grave because it's just stalls, and then there's nothing blocking you. There's nothing shit, you know. And
so everybody just sees everybody showering.
You're just right there, like, you know. And then it's the.
How did you adjust to that? Like when you first got into the county, because when you're a juvenile, you don't have to shower. You can't shower with the kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, there's like, you know, there's stalls and shit, you know. I mean, I was already used to it because of camp, you know. But like, I just shower my boxers on this shit, you know. Like you just get in there and get out, you know, type shit.
Yeah.
But from the county, like, it'd be like old ass fools getting ass naked in the shower, but like, what the you doing, fool? Like, you know, like that shit was a whole but it's just like, hey, you know,
don't
like,
care.
You just shower, fool, like. And I'll be getting.
And they're all happy or what?
Yeah, they're just right there chopping it up, and I just be right there like, fool, hurry up, fool. Like, I just go in there, shower, you know, shave, and then boom, get up out of there. And then the homies be right there, be having a whole tank discussion. You know?
Hey, it's just like that's me. That's me.
Yeah, that shit, you know, that shit's cool.
So what happened? Did you come home? Like,
no, I was still fighting my case. So mind you, I just came home off of for that time, you know, and I still had time to go. I still probably had I was 21. I probably still had another 5 years to go for that case, and then I had 4 years to go. So what they had did was I couldn't go to state prison because I was on juvenile probation. So what they had did was they terminated that case. They terminated my juvenile probation so I could go to adult.
Oh.
And what they did was, since I was still all the time, he was like, well, I might just have to dismiss it. So he just dismissed the whole murder case. He goes like, I don't owe no more time, no restitution. I owe $12,000 for it, and I never paid not one time. It didn't hit not one time. And then they dismissed it, and then I got mad love for that too. Boom, they dismissed it, and then I went back to adult court, and then they're trying to give me First, they were trying to give me like 6 years for the strap, and then they brought it down to 4, and then they brought it down with 2.5. And I'm just my first case as an adult. It's a misdemeanor charge. It's a firearm, bro. Like, yeah, my priors are the only thing. Yeah, when I went to adult court, when they talk about priors, like, yeah, that shit catches up to you.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Because the whole time I'm in there, they didn't even bring up the gun charge. They're talking about my juvenile shit, that murder charge. You know, they're talking about why they should keep me here longer. You know, they're talking about, bro, I just came in. I'm trying to bail out.
Yeah,
they hold my bail. You know, they did the most. You know, so. My attorney was like, hey, the best they're gonna give you is 2.5, and they're gonna strike your strike. So I'm just like, what? Shoot it. How, like, but they're like, you're gonna have to do a year flat upstate, you know? I'm like, I'm not tripping. So I'm like, damn, I'm really going upstate. So I took my time, I signed, and then I'm just waiting. To catch. I go back to South and shit, and I'm right there chilling, and then I'm waiting to fucking catch the train, you know? And all the homies as I'm there, like, all the homies just telling me, you know, like, one homie was getting certain homies ready, you know, like, to go through that whole process, because it's not like how it was, you know, before, you know, like, if you're just GP, boom, they're just gonna put you in the GP. Or now, like, it's your first time, you're gonna have to go up there, it's your first time, you're gonna have to go get off, you know, you're gonna go get on the 50-50 yard off, and then, boom, you're gonna go wherever you go type shit.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, a lot of homies, like, they'll tell you, bro, like, they're gonna be like, bro, you're gonna be in a busload up there, bro, like, on the way from the county food to reception, or from reception food to the mainline food to that prison, bro, with a busload of homies, food, and there's gonna probably be, like, 50, 60 people in that bus, or 40 people, bro, and there's probably gonna be like 10 homies in there, fool. And mind you, fool, you're gonna see fools that they're gonna stay, fool, and there's probably gonna be like you and somebody else that's gonna get off, like 3 other homies, as
max,
if, you know, max, you know. And I'm just like, damn, you know, and just hearing all the stories being in reception, you know, like the homies telling me like, hey, fool, about getting off, you know, like hitting Jamestown, hitting Avenal, hitting these yards, you know, like fucking, you know, like, you know, getting out, I'm just like, damn, that shit's vicious. Making inside a dorm, like, that shit's ugly, you know? That shit ain't no joke. Like, you making inside a dorm, bro, it's bad for your ass, straight up. Like, it's bad, you know? And me, so when I was in Delano, when I was in reception, they had told me what prisons I was going to. I was either going to I was going to Solano, or I was going to go to Soledad, you know? Because of my YOP. But then and I told them I don't want the YOP because they're just going to send me to a bad yard. All the YOPs are in the bad yard, you know? The last one was in Ironwood, but they had flipped the yard, so I'm just like, man, I'm not finna, you know?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, man, I'm just gonna boost my points up, get maxed out, boost my points up, and then try to see if I can go to the 4, because I'm not trying to deal with this shit. And then he goes like, oh, now you're YOP, so whatever. I'm like,
what does YOP mean?
YOP is Youth Offender Program.
Oh, okay.
So you qualify if you get it, like, say, like, if I get busted for a hot one, boom, like, and they hit me with 25, I'll probably do like 12, or I'll do like the minimum, you know?
Got
I
it.
don't do as much. And then I'll go through programmings to get it, you know? So when I go out there, he tells me, he goes like, hey, these are your prisons, you know? So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I've been in reception. I got there January. I got busted last year, October, for the strap. And then I was in reception. I got there January. And then I'm there probably like, reception is probably like 3 months, you know, 2 months, you know, whenever. I'm over here thinking I'm finna get a turnaround. Like I'm get a turnaround, you know, for sure. Like,
go up there and come back down.
Know, like, it's 2.5 after that one, and then plus the 33%, you know, like, that's just nothing. So then they're like, now you gotta hit a main line first. I'm like, all right. So then I check in with the homie from Fraser, right? The homie Bugsy, and we go to the hood and shit, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, where am I going? Where am I endorsed to? And that fool goes like, oh, you're endorsed to he tells the homies Lancaster, and then he tells me, he goes like, oh, you're endorsed Avenal. I never heard of Avenal a day in my life. I'm like, what is that? And then that's when the homie starts laughing. He's like, fuck. And the hood I started laughing too. He's like, you're gonna have to go get off. I said, I was like, there's no good yard right there. He's like, nah, I feel that whole prison is bad. I'm just like, all right, for sure. He's like, where is that at? I'm like, I don't even know.
In Avenal, California.
Yeah, in Avenal, it's like an hour away from.
No, I know. Before it was a good yard,
yeah,
like years ago.
Back then, yeah, it was good, because when I got to the mainland, there was a lot of homies that be like, I was there, like, back, you know? And I'm like, okay. So then as I'm going, right, I'm like, endorsed. I'm supposed to get picked up any day now, you know, to go, you know? And boom, me and the homie, we got endorsed. And we're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go together. So sure enough, we go to the front. And then boom, in R&R, boom, is all the cages of where everybody's going to, you know, boom, each prison and shit. So then boom, I go in the GP one, you know, with the homies and shit, and I see the homie Donnie from Hazard, you know. Boom, I go right there with him and shit, and then boom, we're chopping it up and shit. And we're like, you ready? Boom, yup. And then boom, I'm talking like, there's homies in there, you know, like there's a gang of homies. There's probably like 5 homies in there. So I'm going and shit, and I'm like, oh, yup. And then there's some other fools that go in there, like there's a fool from Money Hunters, and there's a couple Crips, you know. Like, you know, so I'm like, all right, like, we finna do our Dougie. I told Donner, I'm like, hey, bro, you from the East, nigga? Like, I got choke back, nigga. Like, you know, straight up, every man for themselves, fool. But
yes,
you don't trip, fool. And I was like, don't trip. And I'm just like, all right. So then we go, right? Boom, we got on the bus. The hood that's giving us the whole rundown and shit. Boom, we're going.
Because the cops actually tell you too, you gotta take off.
Yeah, no. Well, I'll tell you, like how it is when you get there. So mind you, this is my first time on a state bus,
Yes.
I'm finna go, like, I'm just going on the county bus. I'm like, well, I'm finna go on this Great Goose, like, on the hood. So we go to the back and shit. I'm just like, this is a whole nother ballgame right here, As boom, we go. And then we go to Avenal, right? And then my whole time, right, there's homies that are popping it, chopping it up. There's some one for, I don't even know where he went now. I'm not even finna speak on it, but you know who you are. But so we went, and the Huda, right? As soon as we pull up to Avenal, that fool comes in. He goes like, "Oh, he's telling us, for all the GP inmates, he's coming to the back and shit." And he's like, "Oh, if you guys," he's asking us because everybody's question is, "What's up with our money that are on our books?"
Yeah, everybody, the money, yeah.
Like, so everybody asking some bullshit question, but I'm trying to go to the dormitory. So boom, we go, right. So I land there, and then they're like, boom, they put us in a different cage, separate, and then there's 6 of us. No, it's 5 of us. It's 5 of us. And then there's 6 yards right there, right? So then the sergeant comes, and that fool goes like, hey, like, he's like, you fools know what time it is already, no? I'm like, yep. He goes like, all right, so look, I'm gonna just give you guys the rundown. There's 5 of you guys. I got 6 yards. I'm gonna send you guys to each yard. I'm not gonna send you guys together or 2. He goes like, I'm gonna send you guys 1 by 1. So
Oh,
like,
no.
Right, cool. So I just look at down there. I'm like, fuck,
Like every man on its own.
And then, cause that's where you really like, okay, like, yeah, it's just cool, like, being from a hood and gangbang, like, it's
one
cool,
thing.
It's cool, but it's like being in a predicament where, like, okay, like, where your gangsterness gets to, like, not even your gangsterness, but just who you are yourself and where your morals are, and where if you could be in the yard with those fools, like, that just lets you know what type of person you are, straight
Most
up.
definitely.
And me, I'm like, I'm not going for none of that. So I'm like, man. So as I'm going, right, that fool goes like, well, he calls the homie some food first. He goes a yard, and then you can hear it on the alarm if the yard goes down, right? So boom, as we're going, the lieutenants are like, hey, we're gonna talk to you, talk to you guys. So boom, the lieutenant calls me in. She's a female. She's a white lady, and she was like, oh, what's up, Miranda? I'm like, what's up? She was like, it's your first time? I'm like, yeah. She was like, all right, for sure. She was like, are you gonna stay or are you gonna get off? And I'm like, well, there's only one way to see, because we can't refuse housing, So I'm like, there's only one way to find out. And then she was like, all right, for sure. She was like, well, look, like, I know you're not going to stay, straight up. I know you're going to get off. But look, I'm going to tell you the rundown. Look, I'm only here because for my money. At the end of the day, I have my GP homies, I f- homies. She told me straight up like that. And I'm like, okay. And then she was like, but look, like, I'm going to tell you how it is, because it gets ugly right here sometimes. I'm just like, all right. She was like, look, I have 6 yards. There's 5 of you guys. You're going to walk in. Whatever you do not make it in that building. She was like, you're going to walk through the work exchange, and when you walk through the work exchange, there's going to be a canteen line on the right-hand side. There's going to be foods right there. Yard runs all day, So they're going to have yard running all day, and you're going to be seeing foods right there. So I'm like, all right, for sure, And she told me she had the first food you see, just get off on, So I'm like, all right, for sure. And then after that, she was telling me about, like, my time base and everything. And then, boom, as soon as we do that, we come back out. And then I have all my property with me, And then I'm like, hey, are we gonna take this or what? Because all the homies were telling me like, hey, fool, like all your correo, all your mail, everything, like just put
it gonna get lost,
fool. Like that's just gonna get lost when you go in there, fool. Like they're gonna take your shit, fool. So I'm like, fuck. So I had all my pictures, like all my Porsche, like my paperwork that I needed, like to get cleared.
That matters, yeah.
So, I'm like, man. So what I had did was like I had put it in a vanilla envelope and I had just put it in me, I just put it in my boxes, like right here. I just tucked it in and I just. As I'm walking, boom, they go me and the homie down there, right? We're walking, and it's both of us. I'm going to F yard, he's going to A yard. So we're going 2 completely different sides. I'm over here thinking we're walking to the same, like if we see, I told him, I'm like, hey, before we get to the yard, if we see anybody, bro, we just gonna get off on them straight up.
We didn't want to make it more.
We just gonna get off on them straight up, like, man, we finna save time. So then I'm like, so then we see some fool, and I'm like, man, that was too. Fuck it. So we just walk in, and then boom, we walk through the gate, and then that's when I'm like, oh, I'm like, all right, we're like, all right, east side. Boom, we shake each other's hands. Boom, you go this way, I go that my way. Boom, as I'm going, boom, as soon as I'm walking through the work exchange, boom, I heard yard down, for A yard, So I'm like,
okay.
Got off, So
that kind of pumped you up a little bit.
So I'm like, okay,
not
cool.
that you weren't pumped up, but like
I was already, I'm like, all right, cool. And then the whole time I'm there, just quiet. You feel me? Like I'm not even finna talk to nobody because a lot of homies. One of the homies were just like, oh yeah, we finna do our Dougie, this and that.
Yeah.
And a lot of those ones be the niggas that be staying right there, straight up. So I go around, I'm walking through work exchange. I have my bag, and he goes like, hey, you're going to 3 blocks. I'm like, all right, cool. Work exchange. And then I'm walking, I'm pushing, and then I'm already walking with that walk, you know, straight up. And then fools already I look at the handball court, and then you could tell they're they're homies or ex-homies or whatever. And I was like, I'm pushing towards them, and those fools start pushing back, like boom, like they start walking away from me, like start going.
You're like,
back.
no.
So I'm like, all right, I know what you are doing.
Wow,
Like,
sick ass fools, huh?
Yeah, so like, boom, I start pushing towards
Scandalous.
so I start pushing towards the track. Man, I'm walking, and then I see the first fool, Agava, he's coming towards my way, and I'm like, hey, you know where 3 block is at? That fool's like, yeah, it's right there. He turns around, I just got off on that fool. I just start getting off on that fool. I just start, boom, I do my Dougie on that fool. And then he's a taller fool, so that fool was low-key kind of, you know, like, he was doing a Dougie on me. He wasn't serving me, though. Straight up, he wasn't. On the hood, he wasn't. You know, he was on the hood. And then, whatever, we got down, and then, straight up, I didn't stop because, the homie was telling me, like, fool, if they don't spray fool, they're gonna make you do all this shit all over.
Uh-huh.
So, make sure they do the most.
Yeah,
so.
like, don't stop.
Yeah, so I didn't. So I kept going and shit, and then that's when they came. They threw the little grenade shit. It wasn't even like it just smoke, you know, just to make it look good. And then that's when they sprayed me. And then when they sprayed me, I stopped. That shit was the worst. Hitting him with the bird cans, bro. Shit. They sucked my shit up, and then I went to the gym and shit, and I cooled off. I was in there burning. I was in the little cage. I was in the little cage with a fan. I was right there just burning food, like burning for like 2 hours, bro. Just
wow.
With the fan, you know, just like this. And I had just took a little shower, but that shit made it worse because that shit went everywhere. So
yeah.
Right there and shit. And I'm just like, but what am I waiting for, you know? Because they tell me, like, it's hard. Boom, I got to that prison, like, at 9 o'clock. And I got off the yard probably, like, 9:15. Because from when I was in R&R to when I landed, it said I landed at that yard at 9:12. And I got off, like, 2-3 minutes after, like, fast. And walk.
Good, right?
Yeah, I got up out of there fast, you know? And then, boom, I'm sitting in the cage. Then they told me, like, hey, by, like, 12:01, you should be in Pleasant Valley already. So I'm like, all right, Peterman. Because in Avenal, they didn't have a hole. So we're like, you're going to go over there, you know?
Yeah.
You're not going to stay right here. So I'm like, all right, cool. Because in some prisons, you'll get off. And then, boom, whatever yard they have right there, if it's a GP yard, boom, they'll just override you. If you're a 2 or 3, they'll just override you right there, you know? You know, me, they're like, oh, you're going to wait. You know, we're just waiting for one of your other buddies to get off. And then you're going to go. So I'm like, all right, we're waiting. One foot didn't even get off. I know there was only 3 of us. It was me, the homie Downer from Hazard, and the homie Curtis from Puente. He was resident. He's a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Some Paisa. Shout out to that Paisa. He did his Dougie on the hood. He came back in, but I don't know. He did his
Ay, güey, he did his thing.
Yeah, he did his Dougie, you know. Hey, me partieron la madre, güey, pero hey,
Aquí estoy.
Pero aquí estoy contigo, güey, you know.
That's right.
You know. And then, whatever we go and shit, and then, I'm in the cage and shit, and then IGI comes, you know, like the gang squad and shit. They pull up and shit, being all nosy and shit. They put me out the tank, and then, they strip me and they fucking take pictures of me, you know, and then, you know, I got a gang of, you know, affiliated tattoos and shit, not just from my hood and shit. And boom, they snatched me up fast, and then, I was waiting right there for like the longest, bro. I'm like, bro, like what the fuck? And then they come back and then they're like, all right, you fools are gonna go to Pleasant Valley. They're like, hey, we're gonna hold your property. We'll send it to you guys. You know, we just gotta go through it. So I'm just like, so then boom, I go, me and down.
But you were able to have your envelope still.
No,
You had
I didn't have nothing. They took everything off of me. They literally gave me ass naked. What didn't they give me ass naked? I was in boxers.
Yeah.
And I had they seen it and then they tell like, hey, what is that? And when they started going through, like, well, that's just paperwork. They're like, we're going to take that. So they took it from me. And then they took everything. So I'm just like, hey, I need that, you know? And they're like, well, you'll get it back. So I'm like, all right, you're tripping. So then we're going. I get inside the van, right, with the homie down there, right? And we're in the red jumpsuits, boom. And we're like, hell yeah, fool. I'm happy. Boom, we're in that back cage on the way to Pleasant Valley. We're going to Colinga. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, that's the best feeling you can ever get, you know? Like, you did that. And then it's my first time. So we're going. And then downers are like, on the hood, you think we can get a lot of love? I'm like, nah, fool. We just
normal shit.
It's normal shit, fool. Like, you gotta do this shit, you know? Like, so we get there and shit, and then we're from the east, you know, from the other. We don't know where we're going or who's what, you know. We just know we're just going straight up. So then we go and we're like, because we know in Pleasant Valley there's 2 bad yards too. There's 4 yards right there, but there's 2 bad yards. So we're like, hey, like, you know, which one are we going to? And they're like, we gotta get off again. And they're like, no, mijo, you guys are good. So I'm like, all right, cool. I went to B yard. So as I pull it to R&R, I see my homeboy from my hood. Evil, you know?
That was good.
You know, so I see him and shit. That was loud, you know? So he was supposed to go to the same yard with me, but the hood, I was like, nah, I can't do it. That was too loud. Like,
yeah.
C yard.
Yeah.
So then, boom, I go, whatever they do the shit, and I'm over here trying to figure out when the fuck am I going to get my tablet. Straight up, I'm hearing about these tablets. I'm like, when am I going to get my tablet, you know? And then it was the longest for me. I landed in the yard, right? Boom, I go to B yard. And then, boom, I go to 5 block, which is orientation. Where half of it, a little section is orientation, but it's the whole block, you know? And I go there and shit. Boom, as soon as I go, boom, they send the shooters, the homies, you know? Like, what's up? Who's you guys, you know? Homies? Okay, yup. And then they ran us, what's up? You guys got your paperwork and all that, you know? The whole rundown. I told them, like, hey, look, I don't have mine. You know, my homie Donner doesn't have it. IGI just snatches up, and then they took all our belongings. And they're like, okay, where you fools from? And then boom, they got everything, and they're like, okay, cool.
Are they able to get it for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they could get it for us. So what they had did, right? So you know, like, of course, if you're from somewhere, you know, they're gonna know, like, who's that, you know?
Yeah.
And then the homie that was right there, he was from Cyprus, you know, so he had it right there. So, you know, he was the homie and shit. He seen that, you know, like, me and the homie from Hazard pulled up. So, like, what? You fools our hometown, you know? So he kept us right there. Boom, showed us stupid love, you know? Still does everything that we needed and orientation and everything. And then usually there's 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, you know? And then usually after our orientation, after that we get whatever, boom, they'll send us to a different block, like 2 block or 3 block. And the East was deep right there in 5 block. And he had it right there. So
that was cool for
the White
you.
House right there. So he goes like, hey, well, I'm going to keep you guys right here. Because everybody's right here, you know? All the homies, a couple homies from Avenues, from Highland Parque, from Camp, from Salsa Montebello, A Street, Wife Ends, like, you know, like the whole town was right. Maravilla.
Yeah.
Maravilla was right there. Like, you know, the whole town was right there. So that shit felt cool, you know?
Yeah.
As soon as I got off my orientation, they told me that my celly was gonna be the older homie from Norwalk. That was been down for like the longest. That was like a dinosaur.
You're like, no.
Yeah, I wasn't
but it's
tripping.
good.
Yeah, you know, I'm not tripping. You know, I'm like cool.
But it's kind of like different, you know.
So I'm like, and then cause the homie Vago for something on the bello, he already had a bunkie, you know. So I'm like, he was already like cool and shit. And then so I'm gonna go with him and shit. And then he was yard crew at the time, so he's gone all day. Marcelli was gone all day.
Okay.
You know, he'll leave from 7 o'clock in the morning, and he wouldn't come back till like 2:30. So I had the pad to myself, you know. And, he was cool. I pulled up and shit, and then he showed me hospitality, like, you know, showed me stupid love.
Super nice.
Stupid love. He gave me the whole rundown, and then I learned a lot from him, a lot. Especially when he was drunk, I learned a lot from him. Like,
because he would talk.
Yeah, he would talk, and we'll be in that cell for hours. We'll go on lockdown, and then like he'll be drawing or he'll be tidying up, and then we'll just be right there just chopping it up, you know, like all day. And
he tidied you up?
Yeah, after time he did a couple of things. Yeah, he did his hyena right here.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, he did this one. Yeah, and then he did this. Yeah. He was a boy. He did. I think he just did 17 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was been down for 17 years. He was waiting to go home, you know.
Oh, that's good.
So he was cool. I was laced up, and after that he left. He went to a different prison, and then I had my cell right there. I was just kicking it.
How long were you there for?
A year.
Okay, that wasn't. What did you do? You worked out. What else?
I just had to get like as soon as I landed, it was program. Like straight up, like you gotta like be on it, you know, like. So as soon as I landed there, right, he told me like the whole schedule, like breakfast, when waking up, when the doors pop, when, you know, what to, you know. So pretty much like in the morning, like, boom, I'll get up, like because he told me like our block is the first block to do everything and everything. We're the first block to get smacked when it comes to getting raided. We go to yard first, we go to chow first. They release us for everything.
So you had to be ready first.
Yeah, so then
that's kind of good and bad.
Yeah, so it's good and bad, you know. But we're just the first block, and we're the White House. That's the White House too. So that's like we just gotta be on it because there's somebody there, and we gotta be all on our best behavior type shit, you know. Mm-hmm. And, that shit was cool because like in the morning I'll get up at 5 o'clock. Well, like 5:15, I'll have my alarm. The TV would just turn on. Boom. So I don't know. Boom. I'll get up and then he'll just.
Oh damn! The TV has an alarm.
Yeah, that would just turn on by himself, you know, at that time, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it just turned on. So as soon as I hear the news already, boom, I'll get up. Boom, I'll use the restroom. I'll brush my teeth, and then I'll do my thing. And then as soon as I'm done already, I'll tell my celly, boom, before he wakes up, I'll hit the pad though, you know. So boom, I'll move stuff. Boom, I'll put all the bins up. I'll hit the pad and everything, and then that's when I'll move out his way, you know, give him that courtesy, give him that, go back to my bunk. And then have the hot pot running because I'll get up first, so I have the hot pot running for him. So
because you drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee, so he could drink coffee, you know. So I have it ready, you know, for him. So when he gets up, he already has that, you know.
That's nice.
So
that's one thing about like prison, like that's like a good thing that we tend to do. We tend to do things for each other. Like okay, you know what? Like we're very I can't find the word right now, but like hey, I know my bunkie's about to come home from work. I'm gonna cook us something before, so when he gets here,
shit.
like we're just there.
Let me hit the pad real quick before he comes.
Exactly, so he could just chill. Yeah,
you know? And
vice versa.
Yeah, that's how I always was, you know. And so, boom, we'll go to chow, right? Boom, we'll go to chow 6 o'clock, 6:15. Boom, like 6:17, they're already popping out the doors. When we all come out, shirts tucked in, you gotta be on it. Don't forget your ID, because sometimes you forget your ID and the line's already moving. and you gotta be in the front, and you gotta get the tower to open up your door, and you're making a scene. And if there's an asshole Huda, that was as soon as you go out to chow, that was gonna come back and hit your shit, you know? From bringing attention to yourself, just for forgetting your ID. So I forgot my ID twice, and I got my pad hit.
Oh.
But luckily, like, stuff was found, but the Huda never pressed that issue, you know? Because I was young.
Yeah.
And the homies were like, hey, he's young, you know? So they just gave me, I was the youngest one on that block.
Okay.
The youngest one. So everybody else was older than me, you know? So it was just, I had to learn fast, quick, and I had to get, because there was no, oh, you didn't know. Like, you know.
No, you know.
You know, like, you knew better, and it was just, and I walk around, you know? So I was just always on that, you know, working out and just, you know,
you didn't use, which is great that you didn't, you know, that you didn't allow yourself to fund that hoe.
Yeah, hell nah.
Like, even it's like, oh, I'm just here for a little bit, let me just party.
Yeah, hell
like, nah.
Yeah, I was
or, you know, you're there for life, let me just throw my life away even though I'm already, like, gone.
Yeah, I was in there for a little bit of time, but, like, I was trying to, like, I seen what everybody else was doing, so I'm just like, all right, let me see how I can fit in, but how I could contribute too, because at the end of the day, I don't want to just be here for no useful, because you're just gonna be here, you feel me? And I was just doing my thing. I was just hitting, you know, I was just hitting and making my money and shit like that. And then I bought my own phone. I bought all type of shit, and which is I was known for being the youngest one right there, and then everybody would be like, oh, the homie, you know, like everybody just loved me. Like, you know, I had this term right here, like, they showed me a lot of love, like, and I learned a lot from the homies, because there's a lot of fools in there that were in my shoes, in my situations, that caught the same cases,
and it
same paperwork, everything, like, you know, like the same evidence matched up, all that fool, and they didn't get the same luck that I got. That fool's been down for 12 years, 17 years, and he's been down, and he got in when he was like 14. You know, like my homie, like the homie Dino, he's from San Jose, like that fool's been down for a minute, you know,
with the same stuff. So you had love,
too, with the Juvenile, you know, like, you know, all that, you know, so just like, you know, I know a lot of people that you know, so that's why I just be like,
you're super blessed,
super, you know,
all the way around,
straight up. That's why I'm just like, man, like all this shit that keeps going on, I'm just like, bro, like. I just gotta, like, now, like, instead of not giving a fuck, I have to give a fuck, you know?
That's right.
It's like, straight up, like, if, like, I clearly seen that other people care for me more than I care, you know? So I'm just like, man, I gotta get it together.
So you were there for a whole year. You got out.
Yeah, I paroled from there.
And then what happened?
I'm here.
Yeah, so how long have you been out?
Probably like a couple weeks, probably like 3 weeks. Yeah.
And what do you want to do?
I want to get rich fast. Nah.
That's impossible, bro.
I
mean, don't we all, right?
I want to keep, like, how do I put it, like putting myself out there, you know, like, just going back. Because I always go back for some, not dumb shit, but just I'm always bringing attention to myself, you know, and I'm always the one that's doing the time, you know. I'm always the one that's, you know, like, with the homies, and I'm always the one that's away.
Yep.
I'm always the one that's coming out, stepping up to the plate, and it's just like.
So what are you going to do to.
I want to go back to school.
Okay.
I want to do school. Like, a couple of my homies, like, they want me to start doing music with them and shit like that, you know? Because, like, we around, you know, like, in, like, just kicking in the studio or just, you know, like, being busted and shit. And after all that, they're like, fool, like, you got some shit, you know? Like, you can fucking, let's do it, you know? Like,
okay.
So I'm just, like, you know, hopefully get involved in that, go down that road, you know, and just start just being how do I put it? Like, I want to be like not another Scott, but I want to be better than Scott too.
So you want to help? You want to still, you know? And you still work with him?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's still my mentor. Like, I still talk to him to, like, basis, you know, like. But I'm just trying to, like, how do I put it? Like, you know, be in that field type shit, you know. Like,
I understand.
Yeah, so, like, cause I know how it is, you know, and I done been there and I done fought cases like that, and I know, like, bullshit that shit where I took the blame for the homie type shit. Like, nah, like. You know, like stuff
like it actually happened to you.
That actually that I got convicted. You know, like I went to trial, I lost that shit. You know, and I was done for. You know, like and the only thing that could save me was a law or something. That,
and it did.
And it did. You know, and it's just like, and that's why I'm just like, man, I'm gonna put my attention to that back. You know, like the same thing that helped me get out of that. I'm gonna, you know, I'm not. That's gonna just get out of that and just forget that shit. Like, nah, you know, like I don't.
Well, if I could give you advice, no matter what you're doing, you know what I mean? You got to work.
Yeah, no, that's mental.
Are you still on parole?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You got to work. You have to work. You have to work. And I know this sounds dumb. You have to work so much that all you want to do is just be home when you get off work.
Man, just get tired on it.
Because until you're off paper, at least.
Yeah.
Until you're off parole. Because if you have too much time on your hand, you're going to get caught up. And I know you don't want to hear that shit, but it's reality.
Yeah, sure.
It's reality. If you got to work jobs, you got to work 2 jobs.
Yeah, it's the boredom, yeah.
like you have to work. You gotta work. You gotta get tired too. Like, hey, I just want to go home and chill with my girl and watch a movie, eat something good and just chill. And we have a routine program out here. It's what we gotta do. We got program time all day. Wake up, work out, go to work. Wake up.
That's what I have been doing too. Like just having that consistent program, you know. And
you
just,
have
you know,
to,
like,
and it's a lifetime. That shit,
yeah.
you know, you're doing life inside. You're doing life out here.
You know, you gotta have that program, and that's why I'm just trying to get back to it because I just don't want.
And you will. You know what? You're not a drug user, and you look and you seem, you seem like you do have good head on your shoulder, and I believe that you're gonna be okay. Whatever happens, don't panic. Do you want to say anything else before we finish?
Nah, I don't. I mean, just.
But you didn't get a rapper name or what?
Nah, I don't even know. I mean, 2, 3, 4. That fool's over here like. You know, we're still working on that. You know?
Well, you got to work on you first. You got to work on your freedom.
Nah, but we just
take your time.
A lot of shit coming.
Because the rap shit is chaotic as well. It ain't no different from other.
Yeah, that shit.
You know.
Yeah.
Focus on you. Focus on what you need to do. Everything will fall in place.
Cause like, that's why I was just like, man, like I be seeing all that stuff, like all the homies that be rapping and stuff like that.
It's like
I look at that shit and I just be like, man, like I'm doing the same shit as they're doing, but I'm doing that shit off camera. You know, like. And that's why 232, like the homie, he wanted me to like start dropping music, you know, like doing like hood vlogs and all that shit. Like the homie, like Trophy Boy, you know, like how he like, you know, he's from Boyle Heights too. He's from the city, you know. And it's like, but I'm just trying to like, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to make it, but it's like, I'm not trying to make it like, you know, be all up in the like let the gunplay. Like shout out to him, you know, but just.
What about Peso?
The other way. I know him too. He's a cool homie, you know.
We love Peso.
That's the boy. I was with him in the halls. Yeah.
I thought you guys were kind of like,
I was with that.
Did time with each other.
Yeah, when I came back down from Wyatt, he was in the next unit, and then in the nighttime, like say like I'll come up, right, like when it was already bedtime, I'll come up and like for like 10, 11, and I'll just kick it with the staff, you know, like I'll be right there chopping it up with them, and he'll come up too. And this fool come on shit, and we'll always chop it up. Like, we'll chop it up for hours, you know? Like, we'll just be chopping it up and shit like that.
He's super sweet.
Yeah, he's smart, you know?
We love him. Like, in our family, like, we love him.
Yeah,
like,
he's dope,
my husband talks to him, like, on the daily. Like, he checks on him. Like,
that fool, so, before I caught the violation, right, when I had seen Peso, prior to that, when I was out, I was fucking with Scott. And then Endely Chopper would pull up, right? And that's how I met Endely Chopper through Scott. And I remember I had a dinner with Endely Chopper. We were like at a dinner and shit in Beverly Hills and shit. And that fool Endely Chopper wanted me to go pull up with that fool, right? And he goes like, hey, you, what's up? You know that fool Peso or what? Like, you know, I was like, I'm trying to do a song with that fool. I'm like, I don't know him, you know? Like, I just, like, I don't know him, you know? And that fool goes like, oh, right, for sure. And then a month later, I got busted.
And you knew him?
And then I met him and shit like that. You know, I met him in the halls and shit. And then Scott was like, hey, he's like, we're just gonna knock out 2 birds in 1 stone. And then he wants to meet in Peso, and Endely wants to see you again, fool. But busted, so fucking let him just go see you in the halls. And then Endely Chopper put up to someone, and then he came in, chopped it up with Peso and shit. And then that's when they're like, I'm gonna make a song with him.
Nice.
And that's when like a year later, they dropped this shit, that 2+2. Or I don't know what they've been doing lately, but
that's cool.
Yeah, hell yeah, but he's cool. That was cool.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah,
take your time. You got it. Yep. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, take your time. We're here. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
We're here. And yeah, anything else?
Nah.
Okay. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.